Won't you open up the heart chakra? Yeah, I wrote this for your heart chakra. Hands up. Don't you think we had enough violence? Yeah. Only good frequencies we vibe. Only good frequencies we vibe. I wish the best for you. They say the grudge is off. Yeah, I clean up nice, wipe the smudges off. We ain't make it up here just to be falling off. Yeah, we look too good to be frowning at y'all. And plus the scene too fly to waste time at all. Why you looking so mad? I won't argue with y'all. Sincerely love DA, like I brought you a car. Kid and play vibe, it's a party involved. Ain't no drama in the venue, pack wall to wall. Everyone's invited, just gotta open your heart. We got moves to make, please don't shoot up the place. Cause tomorrow's way more better than today. All these fly people, you may find you a bay. We trying to see pelicans, not Pelican Bay. I brought the light with me, just come and vibe with me. You worry about the wrong stuff, too much time to think. Won't you open up the heart chakra?
Dominant player in the game matters.
I got my trust in the process, breaking out all of these boxes. I didn't take too many losses. I'm rearranging my mindset, getting so close I could taste it. I'm exercising my patience. Give me what's mine or I'll take it. Big step of hitting the stage. I've been in practice for days. I'm training for something that you cannot claim. They throwing dirt on my name. My roots stretching deep and I'm growing in phase. You see the look on my face. Do it look like I came here to play? Maybe to you was a game. Little baby, we ain't the same. I'm looking big, but yeah, they callin' the fall, cause ain't no way they can blind me. The way I fall and rise, I look like the way of the phoenix. In the city of eagles, angels and demons, I'm undefeated.
Love. Sun hit my melanin, hit the east, it's how we fellowship. Eating more vegetables, I've been juicing in my element. They cannot fuck with me, cut the gimmicks, that shit evident. Sit with the ancestors, microdosing on this medicine. Whoa. Whoa. Microdosing on this medicine. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Wake up, I've been praying, speak to the angels, I find my peace. Look inside the mirror, exterior not defining me. Roll me up a cone as I seek the codes to the finer things. Everything I wrote came to life, I write in hieroglyphs. Everything's alright, even if it's not, I know it's gonna be working in my favor towards something greater.
Broken homes and Rolling Stone is what I'm used to flying high like sorry Houston baptized, but still I realize that God is flowing through us like Newton. It takes that motion to prove it. I took that hip-hop influence and made a movement. Part of my ways is how I'm raised, that 2 train. Let's stop with do it. Back to the block, backyard, we hooping. What's that set and change? We shooters. Met that lady Jane, she helped me to forget the pain. I smoke these dudes in any lane. I hop in booth and get the change in, like them snakes within the gang did. Still standing my toes and filling my dome with knowledge from the ancient. Routine in my soul, I stay on my goals like the Football Association. She get hard and the road get dangerous. No, I'm magnetic, I'm holding my breath in that track where I'm headed. Can't settle for less, I need hold out of lettuce. I came off the bench and I'm still about to shred it. Took every loss and turned them to blessings. The harder you fall, the stronger the lessons. My niggas that's gone, they kept me protected. When it's all said and done, what will be your message? Is the fruit gonna fall too far from the tree where we keep your essence? Until I'm faded, shining like a crystal baby. Cause I came up out the rough and there ain't nothing that could break me. Leave it all for God.
All right, peace and chaos. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me. Some of you guys say y'all can hear the music. Just making sure my mic is straight because I was at the Afro Indigenous Culture Fest last weekend and I had my mic out there and I noticed the setting on Zoom was kind of a little bit janky at first. It got better. So I'm making sure my mic settings is back Gucci, if you feel me. All right, you guys can hear me. Welcome back. I see some of the familiar faces up in here. Shout out to Janae. I see you, Lin. I see you, Ultra Instinct. Main G, what's up, man? B Swords, Travis Ayers. Some of the familiar faces. Shout out to y'all. And shout out to the rest of the family. We up in here. I had to push it back an hour. Had some things going on with my son. Had to make sure he was straight. But it's good to be back. It's good to be back on YouTube. Peace and chaos to the family. And welcome back to this channel. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Today's video is Omni, Corpus, Aqua. I'm going to be covering a lot of science of the cosmic waters today, and some of the Sumerian myth. So I wanted to highlight some stuff, what's going on. I wanted to catch everyone up with the events and the occult rituals that they're doing on society. But the African American or the American Indigenous Culture Fest was real good, guys. It was excellent, exactly what I was looking for. Here's a video of me. I came out there with my priest outfit on. You know, I had to get on the priest swag. Had to have something to change into. But this is just a clip of what you can see on Patreon. I put all 2 videos on all the tiers just to look out for the family, because somebody messaged me and said they didn't have the money to get to the higher tier, but they really wanted to see it. It's getting a lot of great feedback. I've been doing a lot of consultations and they said the videos are excellent. So here's a small clip of me lecturing at the Afro-Indigenous Wellness and Culture Fest. Answering your question with the egregores, there's these 60 demonic houses. Now, the demonic houses control different areas of the world. This is some real stuff happening. You can't look at the TV series and the movies anymore as entertainment. I know we used to do that, but we have to look at it as spiritual people, as a documentary of what's happening in the world for real. Go ahead, Kim.
Sorry, I'm stuck.
Yes.
So you said the sun is the soul,
Yes.
and in the beginning was void, which was darkness, which is all the color.
And shout out to Kim. Kim was out there with us too. I'm going to show a video of her in a minute. This is me and the god, Dr. Aline Bay. Dr. Aline Bay just did the interview a couple of weeks ago. The god is for real, y'all. This is a for real master teacher. We really went in, fam. Y'all don't understand what y'all miss. Very powerful energy. We did a powerful indigenous chant on his farm at night. And I mean, that was amazing, family. Just to witness those people receive that healing. They had the plant medicine out there. Shout out to the goddess Rizika. She had all of the plant medicine, anything you can ask for. And her lecture was excellent. And they built this teepee out of blankets and rods. And they like formulated a esoteric cosmic womb for people to enter and receive the healing in the sweat lodge after, heating and cooling the water and putting it over the ember. And then they closed it up with 9 people there. Then we started to invoke, the mantra, and there was a charge implosion because the people in there were leaving everything that was traumatic and everything that was negative of impurities inside of the teepee. And when they came out, it's like coming back out of the cosmic womb renewed. So here's a short video of that. You guys might see the lightning flash. Can't make it bigger, but it's the best I can do. My home, rise like a guru, be my city home. Home, my home, rise like a guru, be my city home. Home, my home, rise like a guru, be my city home. Home, my home, rise like a guru. See that lightning flash? Home, my home, rise like a guru, be my city home. Home, my home, rise like a guru, be my city home. Home, my home. And you heard the thunder come in just now. So we did a lot of different indigenous chants. Plant medicine, sat around the fire like family. It was a family type event, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. But I met a lot of people out there. Shout out to my brother Terish Pipkins. You find my brother Terish Pipkins. He's on the channel as well. He told me he drove on down. I think he was in North Carolina, but the brother, he had a special type of magic too. He could do he did the puppets. He did some type of puppet magic where he could play any type of music through this. Let me see if I got a picture of his puppet. I didn't put it in here. Didn't want to show his show because it was so amazing. You guys go to my Instagram. I didn't want to put it on YouTube and get a copy strike from the different songs he did. But go on Instagram to see how the brother works them puppets, man. That thing was amazing. So we was kicking it out there. Shout out to Terish. Kimberly was out there. Shout out to Kimberly. She follows the channel. She came over from Donut's channel, and we've been connecting. Kimberly has a lot of science of the sacred waters, and she's a bright soul. You know, I cannot wait to learn more from her. Been talking to her for the last few days since the event, and we got to get her on Patreon because she was dropping science. She really helped inspire this video today because she was very, very, she wanted to get this information to me about the sacred waters. And I knew about it because I did a video with Juan, the one-on-one podcast about the waters above the firmament was quark gluon plasma. Remember that lecture I did on theological esotericism? Theology is the study of goddesses. And I was speaking to Juan. That was my first interview with Juan. We were talking about hyperdimensional travel through the cosmic waters. You guys can go back and review that video. But she really gifted me with some spiritual vision back into that information that I was disseminating. And I told her I'm gonna do this lecture today on some of the science that was dropped on that, but I'm gonna extend it into the Sumerian myth. And also why they're doing all of these water rituals too. We got to talk about that. And another goddess, I didn't have a picture with her, but shout out to Miss Erica Lanier Lindsay. She got her business. You guys copy that down. Ancestor Frequency. That's her business, Erica Lanier Lindsay. That's her number right there. Her email is erica.lanier1@icloud.com. And she gave me this dragon box. You can barely see it, man, but this was a beautiful piece she gave me. And she put a couple of other pieces in there with another organite dragon. Now, Erica was connected to Bobby back in the day. They were good friends. So she was giving me some information. She shared a lot of wisdom with me with what happened back then. So I'm going to drop that story whenever we get on Patreon this week about what Miss Erica was telling me about the Bobby thing. And also she makes these pendulum dowels. You know, you could take the pendulum and you just rotate it, allow the magnetic energy to go up and down the dial, and it shows you, like, it has the number placements, and it has yes or it has no. If it swings, she even has the moon phases, the TT phases, built inside of the dial with the copper resonance wiring in the middle. This is some high esoteric engineering right here. This is some real beautiful stuff she had. So she really has a creator gift. So I want you guys to very much check her out. I didn't get a picture with my brother William. Older gentleman came out there, and he came out. He gave me he came all the way out there to give me a book, a great book that he gave me, and I've been reading that recently. So shout out to William too. I just want to give a shout out to everyone who came out there that I recognize from the channel, and I appreciate you all for supporting me going out to the American Indian Wellness and Culture Fest. But yeah, family, there's been a lot of stuff going on. We got the Diddy stuff. Hold on, I think I restarted this thing. Okay, pull it right back up. We got the Diddy. We got all type of stuff to talk about today. We're gonna really slow roast this because I do have to go into work. But I talked to my people there, and they was like, just take your time today. You know, that hurricane really messed up this area. There's a lot of rituals occurring with that hurricane. But yeah, so they got this new hurricane called, it's either Helen or Helene. And then while that was happening, they put out the new American crisis they're going to do as they shut down the East Coast borders. I don't know if you heard about the longshoremen protesting right now. Have you guys heard about this? They're protesting the shipping through the docks. So the people that usually handle the shipping, they're pretty much about to shut that down. And I knew it was going to be water as soon as Kim started telling me it, because earlier this year I told Kim today something triggered my mind, because I told Patreon, and if you're on Patreon, I always say Patreon because we do be dropping stuff on there, but I was telling them about the Watasumi dragon. You guys remember that? Remember when I covered the Watasumi dragon? It's the water dragon of the Japanese folklore. You see? And shout out to Nikki. My bad, Nikki. I see you up in there. Nikki was out there too. I seen Nikki the first day. But shout out to Nikki, Miss Nikki Banks, and her sweet little daughter. Her sweet daughter was sitting on the front row, and she turned around, her eyes got big, and said, is that Aniosaru? That was that made my whole weekend, seeing that young baby say that. She was surprised because she heard my voice when I raised my hand and was speaking to Aline. But love the children, love the kids. You said, what is the name of Erica's channel? She doesn't have a channel. She has the email and her number. Just reach out to her, and maybe we can get her on this channel. I'm gonna call her this week as well. I haven't been able to call her. Yeah, Erica was killing it. Who else? Hold on, let me see y'all. Let me see y'all comments. I missed y'all comments. Okay. All right. So yeah, Helen was crazy. Helen was crazy. Oh, there go Miss Erica right there. There go Miss Erica in the chat. Shout out to Miss Erica Lanier, that goddess. I just showed some of your stuff, Miss Erica. I'm gonna call you this week. Look forward to my call, but it's ancestor frequency. You say you're still trying to do the Patreon? Okay, we're gonna talk about how to get up on there. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We got to get you on here too. Yeah, Miss Nikki, you got to tell me. Nikki went through with the Hape ceremony, the Native American snuff medicine. I did Hape a few times, and I administered Hape a couple of times, but I can't wait to hear from Nikki how that experience went. Definitely. But yeah, they got these rituals, these water rituals happening right now. And I was speaking earlier this year about the Watasumi water dragon. They were giving a lot of hints from it from the WWE, the whole wrestling thing. You got to pay attention to that, because even though it's fake, some of the strips of the characters or the wrestlers, they're playing archetypical god and goddesses of how the Illuminati is utilizing the energy through certain characters, landscapes, and other things throughout the world. So you pay attention to their name and look at their gematria. You can find out a lot about what the Illuminati or the Jesuit order is planning through the wrestling people. Very much so. You said egregore rights, right? Absolutely. What's going on, Katrina? So that water dragon was at the beginning of this year, and I talked about it on Patreon for a couple of videos. So they're trying to access the water spirits and go to war. They're trying to go to war with us right now. So we got to be very focused with what they're trying to do. And this hurricane, man, this hurricane did some damage here in Colombia. Let me show y'all. I was riding home 4 o'clock in the morning, and somebody had hit a tree stump that fell. I guess it fell simultaneously while they were riding. So I had to help however I could with those people that was on the side of the road, because all of their tires got blown out, and I had to figure out a way to get around all of that mess. So they did not prepare the East Coast for Hurricane Helene or Helen, whatever it is. They did not prepare us for this. They just put out like one little emergency little call, but this thing messed up North Carolina, Georgia. This thing really did some damage, and it was an Illuminati ritual. I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm gonna prove it to you today. Let me show you. So first of all, one thing we spotted inside of the hurricane, and by the way, they're shutting down these shipping docks, like I said, and this is to show you that there's another Black Swan event coming. Look up what a Black Swan event is. The CVD, y'all know what I mean when I say that, was a Black Swan event when the world has to stop because of an event. They're setting that up because you remember back in 2020, the truck drivers got shut down because of the whole protest. Now they're shutting down the sea with the whole water ritual. So they're playing elemental 5-dimensional chess with this thing. You see? Right. And the hurricane had the pedophile symbol on it when they were showing it on the news. You might think that's going too far, but go look up the FBI documents. That is the pedophile symbol. They do this type of stuff. I'm telling you. Yep, the shipping dock workers are planning to go on strike, and that's not random. That's not random at all. And somebody did the steganography that Donut was teaching about, how to take a graphic and double the graphic, split the graphic and mirror it. It's called steganography. And it showed like 3 to 4 entities in this thing. You see this face right here. You see a small face. It looked like Cthulhu right there. Almost looks like Cthulhu, but it's definitely an entity in it. Then they showed this clown. They said it looked like the clown off Spawn. What was it called? The ventriloquist. Y'all put it in the chat. I had a picture of the clown. I don't know. Oh, here it goes. They said it looked like that clown off Spawn. And you know how they were talking about how the clowns represent the Nephilim, the whole Nephilim thing. A Nephilim archetype is the clowns. That's why they have the Royal Order of the Jesters, one of the top Masonic orders. And they go around killing people. There was a case with this one guy, I forgot his name, back in like the 70s or 80s. He was in the Royal Order of the Jesters, killing all these people, and they let him out. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with when you look at this steganography, the oldest names in the English language. And Helen actually means light. There was a woman named Helen, some top plutocratic family, aristocratic family she came from. I forgot what her position was or whatever she did, but they said she discovered a piece of Christ's cross. Now, y'all know how I feel because we're esoteric over here. Let me see who this person was just to do the research for you guys. Saint Helen, okay, mother of Constantine, person who started the Christian church. Constantine, great Saint Helen, is believed to have restored many sites of the Holy Land where she discovered the cross on which Christ died and other relics from his passion, some of which she brought back with her to Rome. These relics can still be venerated today in Rome's Basilica of the Holy Christ, or the Holy Cross in Jerusalem. You see? So there's no coincidence they use that name. He said the jester has power over the king and court symbolically. Shout out to Howard. Howard be dropping bombs up in there. Oh, John. Okay, I know who that is. He played the clown. So Helen means light when you translate it, but it also you have the hell in it as well. But let me show you the numbers with this thing. These numbers is crazy. This thing was huge, man. Look how big this thing was. Pause. Big time pause. But y'all know what I mean. So this is Hurricane Helen. Hurricane Helen. Look, they found another one in 1958. I put it on my page, but I wasn't able to post this. Shout out to Cody for posting this on his page. But it says that from September 21st, 1958, when it formed, to Thursday, September 26, 2024, exactly 66 years and 6 days. Same Hurricane Helen. And it touched around the same time. That's that 666 connection. And they said that it eventually reached its height on the same date, September 27th. And I was speaking about different HARP technology. Now, I did release some information from a classified document that was sent to me years ago from the Department of Defense, showing what HARP represents. I talked about it one time on this channel, that HARP was actually a technology to bind entities through the electromagnetic field. And I have a lot of patents. If people don't believe that they can do stuff like that, I have some patents to show the whole prove it to me crowd. I've been having a lot of the prove it to me crowd attack my posts when we try to drop on this thing. Look at all of these patents here. Electro spray cloud seeding systems and methods for producing rain clouds, method and apparatus for making falling snow, method of geoengineering, reduce solar radiation, method and system of analyzing ingredients of artificial rainfall for verification of cloud seeding effect. Look at all of this stuff. So this is a list of geoengineering patents from 1891 to 2023. And we just went through all of these. You guys can take a screenshot. Let me move my mouse if you want to show that to people, how many patents they've been had on this thing. So I don't want to hear nothing that these people can't do that. They've been doing it. They've been planning it since 1891. They can do it. They definitely can do it. But one thing I did notice about that date, that same date, let me see if it's in here. September 27th. That's the 484th anniversary of the Jesuits when they were founded. So this was the anniversary of the damn Jesuits. Notice the word weather control in the Jesuit order equals the same in 3 ciphers. There's that 201 number. Now, I discovered through the help of research with Travis Ayers on Facebook, he was talking about the 201 number could be connected to Mount Hermon in the 200 fallen angels. And I was thinking, well, maybe what is the missing angel? And I was priming through some information that I might bring to you about that, because that was very interesting what Travis said, adding that info in there. But the Jesuits in reverse satanic gematria equals 484. So they have to have a ritual 484 years after their founding date. They had to do it. You see? You said they just found that patent number earlier today for fake suns and moons. Yeah, I posted about that on Generation Z. He said that machine is not HARP, though, has been debunked. Probably so. They got pictures of HARP. They got a lot of pictures of HARP. So even if that machine wasn't it, you got the idea of what type of machine they got out there. They got some shit out there. It's not always about getting the exact machine, because you'll never know what type of fucking technology they got. It's the concept of what they're doing with the machines that means more, but I appreciate if it was debunked. But notice they said 44 people was dead on the same founding date of the Jesuits. Now, I don't know if that number went up. Somebody told me 52. Somebody said something else. Weather equals 52. So, but if it was 44 dead, HARP equals 44 in the purest cipher. So that's a completion of the ritual, if that's real. If that is the last number, I'm not sure. So you got to understand that. So yeah, Helen was something they were planning for a while, for a long time. And understand that this year of Watasumi, if they're finishing the year, it's the year of the dragon, but they've really been doing this water dragon thing. It's supposed to be a wood dragon, but they've been focusing on this water dragon because water is currency, liquid assets, admiralty law, you know, the whole Moorish thing, the admiralty laws, you know. And speaking of that, the United Nations did a ritual while everyone was paying attention to the Diddy thing. They dropped something that came out that 159 countries dropped the US dollar. And basically they're saying this BRICS currency is about to become the new currency, low key. They working it out with Russia and them other countries. And I understand that's why Trump was wearing the brick outfit. Trump had the brick outfit on, and there was another guy who had the brick outfit on. Here's the other guy here, but Trump had the same outfit on himself, and I showed a picture of that at the festival. I could pull it up, but you guys know. Y'all know he put that outfit on. And of course, the bricks can represent Freemasonry, building the temple brick by brick. But the BRICS currency is definitely going to affect the US dollar. Then Trump just came out with his own currency, I believe. It said World Liberty Financial, Trump's new crypto exchange, launched 13 days ago. So he comes out with a new type of crypto exchange. And then you got this BRICS thing going on. Speaking about currency, now it said 159 countries. Donald Trump equals 159. All you have to do is know the numerology. That's why I told people I've been getting so many consultations, family. I put a post out for people to hit me up if you want me to do your gematria decode of your life. And I show the numerical values associated with your astrology, your sidereal astrology, with ciphers from the Kabbalah. And I was talking about how people ask, can numbers you see day to day be scaled spiritually to entities or influencing energies? So I've been helping so many people. Let me tell y'all, I've been doing 4 damn consultations a day. So I've been very, very busy out here, very busy while taking care of a 2-year-old by myself. So if y'all can imagine how that goes, and I still, you know, while I'm doing consultations, I'm taking notes to make sure you guys have a lecture this week. But if you want a gematria life decode, or if you just want a basic decode, I have a low price basic decodes are nothing but $30. And the full life decode, I go through your life path number, your Chaldean ciphers, and your 3 astrological ascended sun and moon gematria. And I show you the deities that connect to your soul through the nakshatras and the sidereal Vedic astrology. And I also do your life path number and your tarot card. So we go through all of that. So hit me up, email me, startribe777@gmail.com. I'm just getting better of getting that information out to help people. And people have told me that I've helped them tremendously with what I did with that. So I'm going to continue to do it regardless the strength. That's what I came here to do. So like I said, 159 countries, Donald Trump equals 159. The numerology is in the names. It's a coded energy. Also, Jesus Christ, 159. The Latin cipher is the Jewish cipher. They use the same numerical value. New Testament, you know, we're talking about bibliomancy again. The New Testament equals 159. And also from the movie Black Swan. Remember, I talked about Black Swan earlier. There was a movie called Black Swan that was released December 10th, 2010. From the release date of that movie to the day of that announcement was to the day of Trump's arrest. I'm sorry. This was Trump's arrest, was 159 months. 159 months. Donald Trump equals 159. And we have to understand Donald Trump also equals 48, 4/8, 48. All rituals based on numerology. And a Black Swan event is when the world stops because some type of ritual they put out here, and everyone has to abide by it. And we know the pandemic was all about that. So look for something to come, family. Something is coming. Now, one thing we must not do, because I put up, someone just put up everything that happened in 2024. I know this is a lot of melanated rituals that made frontline news. They're doing a lot of rituals of melanated people. Started with Cat Williams, all the way to now with Diddy's arrest, Trump, Kamala, the Cats, Cardi B, the Olympics, the Drake and Kendrick beef, Trump and Biden, the Celtics winning the championship, to the eclipse, Diddy's house raid. All of this stuff is a distraction. Because one thing we must understand is that America, let's just speak about America, because I know some of y'all are in other countries, but America was the biggest freak off of all time. We talking about a Diddy party. America was a freak off and is a freak off for the elite. Look up Lord Cornbury, one of the slave owners, and look up the egregious type of freaky stuff he used to do with those slaves. Lord Cornbury or Thomas Thistleman, these type people, they've been having freak offs much worse than a Diddy party. And I'm just talking back in slavery times. Let's talk about now. What type of freak offs they're having in them tunnels? Where do those tunnels lead to? What type of stuff they got going on when they had that elite dinner underground in those tunnels? I forgot the name of the guy who put it. I think it's Mind Unveiled. He put a video about that it was in the newspaper that the elites had a dinner in the tunnel. So we got to ask what the hell is going on you know, right up underneath our feet, if we want to talk about that. Yeah, the Shannon Sharp ritual was wild. I'm going to show that too. You see? So then they're still doing it. Diddy was just a front face. These people are billionaire panhandlers, cosplaying. They're cosplaying this nation state, but it's really a oligarch shadow government that moves hand in hand with the Illuminati Jesuit order, all connected to the gematria. You know, I showed the Shannon Sharp ritual. Let me go back to that and show you that again. The Shannon Sharp ritual was another 201 ritual. I don't know why my computer moving slow. I showed this already, how Shannon Sharp, when they released him with a sex video on Instagram Live, he said his Instagram Live went live on accident. Instagram Live equals 201. I also figured out that there were 201 Jesuit priests that started the Jesuit order. So there's another 201 connection to the Jesuits. But the 201 connects to the sorrow cycles of eclipses, if you want to know directly it means. There's also 201 steps in the there's 201 steps. Hold on, guys. Computer about to die. Is we back? I can't tell. Making sure the computer don't die. Okay, I think that did it. That should have did it. So what was I talking about? Oh, the other 201 connection is that on the pyramid, the Great Pyramid, there's 201 limestone steps. There's 201 limestone steps on the Great Pyramid. And how Instagram symbol is really the alchemical symbol. They just took the triangle out of it. And they did it on 9/11. And the article said a apparent sex vid shared on Instagram, apparent sex video equals 77, and Flight 77 flew, quote unquote, into the towers, which we know that was a scalar energy weapon. But Flight 77 flew into the towers, and I believe New York is on the 77th meridian. Then they killed Frankly Beverly the same day at 77 years old. 9/11 ritual, Flight 77. See it? And look, this happened 77 days from his birthday. And you don't think this gematria, this numerology don't mean nothing? We at the top of the echelon with decoding the numerology right now. That's how deep we're in it, because we can show the esoteric science as well. Now, it was also 288 days. It was 288 days from his next birthday. And sex equals 288. Sex also equals 33, masonry. So that's what that Shannon Sharp ritual was about. It's all the numerology. He did. If you anybody that ever been on Instagram know you can't go live without going through a couple of steps. That was fake. They're lying. That was a humiliation ritual that goes back to Cat Williams, which that's why Trump and Kamala was talking about all of the cat eating in Ohio, because Cat Williams is from Ohio. Y'all can't put the two and two together. Now there were some Haitians out there eating some cats, but Cat Williams from Ohio, and people saying that this stuff is this was the woman that was eating them cats. But you best believe it's not about her. But one thing I noticed, her name was Alexis Farrow. Let me break it down to you real quick. We already did this on Patreon, so we circling back to you guys. The woman name was Alexis Farrow. You go right here. Canton woman accused of eating cat. Not Haitian. She was South African. She was South African woman. Nonetheless, she was an immigrant. She was an immigrant. No matter she was Haitian. But if you look up the story, her last name is Farrow. Look up the story of the Farrow girls. Said Farrow. Okay. So it's part of MK Ultra, because this is another girl I noticed that keep popping up. This girl named Jeannie. She was doing some stuff where it says her father kept her in a locked room. He strapped her to the toilet, bound her legs. And I guess this made some type of psychosis induced on her, where she go out there. She probably was eating animals and stuff. So this is a Pharaoh girl of today. Dang, she only weighed 59 pounds. That's sick. But the original story of the Pharaoh girls is two girls named Amala and Kamala. You see this? Amala and Kamala, the Pharaoh girls from Bengal or Bengal, India, who were alleged to have been raised by a wolf family. Remember the mascot of the Kansas City Chiefs? What's the mascot of the Kansas City Chiefs, who won the Super Bowl? We're gonna show it to you today. Just let my computer load. Is a motherfucking wolf. You see that? Now, what does that mean? First of all, the wolf is connected to Romulus and Remus, which is a Roman story about how Rome's empire was built. Two brothers battling over Rome. Of course, Romulus won, but the story goes that Romulus was trying to build a wall so Remus wouldn't hop over the wall. That's the whole immigrant situation in the Joe Biden and Trump whole thing, letting immigrants over. It's an esoteric story. But yeah, they were raised by a wolf, Romulus and Remus. But you had the Wolverines. Don't matter if a Wolverine ain't a wolf, they got the name wolf in it. They won the college championship. Then the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl, and the president is called the Commander-in-Chief. That's why the Chiefs won, because this year is going to be about the Commander-in-Chief, the election. And then you had the other girl name is Amala, one of the Pharaoh girls. Is Amala and Kamala. Whose name is Amala? Whose name is Amala? You'll figure out that Doja Cat, here goes back to the cat. Goes right back to the cat, huh? They about to do a big ritual with this Doja Cat girl. Her name is Amala. Her name is Amala. We showed she came out with the song Paint the Town Red. That was the biggest song last year, or at least the most played, if not the most. It was the most in the media. Paint the Town Red, which was a very satanic video where she played a demon and she played the whore of Babylon. But they paint the town red because the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl. The red team won. Then you had Sexy Red all last year. Sexy Red. Blood Ritual. Red. And we can't figure out what these people doing. So that was that ritual. Pharaoh girls, Kamala, Amala. Then they killed Frankie Beverly. People were saying, well, he was old. Why the hell the Frankie Beverly tour was on March 22nd, 3/22, the Skull and Bones number. And he had a farewell tour this year. Isn't that weird that he had a farewell tour and he died? People don't find that weird. That's why I put the little emoji here. You know? Howard Beverly, his real name equals 193. 193 is the 44 prime number. Kill equals 44. Murder equals 44. Farewell tour. Then he dies. Then he died 86 days after his birthday. Or no, he died 86 days before his next birthday. That's 2 months and 25 days. Why Frankie Beverly equals 225. And you think these numbers don't mean nothing? You see? You said, since we can now break down gematria. Shout out Nicole. What's up, Nicole? Since we can break down the gematria codes and rituals associated, does the discovery and the exposure of this knowledge diffuse the rituals in any way? Well, it's not about diffusing the ritual. We can't worry about what they're doing. We have to be doing something internally. We gave this world up. You can go ahead and stick a fork in it. It's over with this world. You can try to hold on to it. You're making the best way you can out of it. We're already beginning to diffuse in our own way this dimension. That's what we have to do. We have to diffuse the whole dimension. This thing, they're talking about a great reset. The universe needs a reset with all of the diabolical stuff people don't went through on this planet. Everything needs to be reset. And it's going to take the original souls that fell to induce it. That's what the whole Matrix movie was about. The one, which ain't talking about one person, it's talking about the one who can understand that it is a matrix and that they were appointed to destroy the machines since the beginning, which ain't nothing but the cosmic artificial intelligence. Now it's going to be a implosive bomb in the pineal gland. When they talking about the what's the Christians the Christian movie what's the name of the Christian movie when everybody disappear? Left Behind. Left Behind. Is one day you're going to wake up, you're going to be in a whole other dimension, but it's metaphysical. You said Washington Commanders versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I could see that, Richard. Commanders and Chief. And I could see the Chiefs winning again. Getting their third one. Then they're going to find out a way to kill off Patrick Mahomes. You said, what about the two moons? I'm about to get into that in a second. Aya, Lee, we're about to get into that in a second. Just slow roasting a little bit. You said, what's the connection between computer science and spirituality? Shoot, the computer science gets its science from spirituality. I could show that. I don't have the slides up here. I could show you how computing comes from spirituality. So a lot of things going on. They're doing a lot of stuff. And I was talking about these moon children. I saw this story. Eazy-E's daughter gave birth to her son on the same day as her father, Eazy-E, was born. I mean, that could happen. I'm not saying there's not a possibility of that happen, but I'm going to go back into the whole Moonchild thing today and show you that these people were born experiments. Most of these celebrities were born experiments of the government. And I can back up what I'm saying. I definitely can back it up. Now, they killed your boy, Rich Homie Quan, which was another 201 ritual, because it was all about the YSL thing going on with Young Thug, which is a big mockery. That's the most mockery of a case ever, probably in U.S. history. That's a big comedy show. But he died 337 days from his last birthday. His full name, DeQuantes Devontae Lamar, equals 337. And YSL equals 201. They sacrificed that brother. He was a sacrifice. He also died, they said, at 34 years old. They tried to switch it to 33 the next day, but he had a video called 34, and 34 in gematria, it equals murder. 34 equals murder. And also he died 666 months after baby Birdman, who has the little, what's the label, whatever his label is, Cash Money, but he discovered Rich Homie Quan, or he put him on, but he died 666 months after Birdman's birthday. You see how they connect people and kill them by the numbers? Because we met a brother out there. The brother, he was low key, but he was telling me, he was like, yeah, man, I was connected to a lot of celebrities. Y'all will see him on the video when you play back the festival video. But he was like, yeah, they tried to kill me too. They had stabbed the brother and tried to sacrifice him, because you got to give up a sacrifice. He was around all of these celebrities. Dude had so many pictures. And shout out to that brother. Shout out to him if he's watching. I'm not going to put his name out there, but shout out to him. But yeah, they tried to kill that brother. He told the audience. But he came out with a mixtape called Terminator Quan, and I knew it. This was his one eye symbolism. This represents the one eye of the Illuminati. This is his one eye, but it's also talking about transhumanism. That some of these people ain't even real. Transhumanism, that's what it is. Then they had this buffoon Negro, John Legend. He just came out with a commercial today for Pfizer. And he's drinking this honey. He's playing this piano, and the piano produces honey. And it made me think about loosh, and also a harvesting. Maybe the jab is a harvesting or energy drainer. I'm surprised that popped up. Energy draining. Because masonry is all about the honeybee. Matter of fact, another name for the Sirius star is honey. Go look that up. Another name for the Sirius star is honey. Because the crown of the pharaoh was a beehive. That's a mystery right there. When you break the code. Yeah, it definitely was a harvesting. Now, before we get in this moon thing, they found some object in the sky over Bald Mountain. I don't know where's Bald Mountain at? Idaho. It's almost out in nowhere, but they found this object in the sky. And I said, that got to be something in the firmament of the waters here, because the guy took 2 pictures of it. I think this is revealing some type of dimension or technology that's being revealed in the firmament of the waters from the sky, so we can see it, because the person it was like, well, that's fake. That's got to be fake. It's AI. They did an AI test on it. This shit ain't AI. They did 2 AI tests. This ain't no AI object. This was really taken a couple of days ago on Bald Mountain. What the hell is this? So you better be paying attention. A lot of things is being revealed right now. But let's talk about the two moon. The two moon thing is another ritual. Matter of fact, let me check a gematria of two moons. Let me see if two moons equal something. It better not equal 201, because I'm gonna run out this house if it equals 201. Okay, I don't see a lot of control numbers here, so we good. Let me take the S off, make sure. Okay. So let me talk about this. The waters are connected to this two moon event because they're actually lying. They're lying about it because the second moon is actually an asteroid, and it's the same green comet. I showed you a green comet a couple of videos, probably like 7 videos ago. It's probably at the beginning of the year. Y'all remember when I talked about the green comet? That's what you about to see. We did a whole video talking about this damn comet. This green comet has been traveling towards Earth for a minute since 2022. So if you watch the channel enough, you heard me mention this green comet. This same green comet is entering the electromagnetic fields of our Earth and our moon. Now, what does the two moon thing mean? The two moons is a new plane, a dimensionality opening up in the Syrian waters. And we can use this quote unquote secondary moon or asteroid as a medium. And it's not about what's out there, because you can't even see this shit without a telescope. Did y'all know that? They talking about this goddamn two moon. You can't even see the two moons if you don't got a telescope. So that don't even matter. You're not going to even see it. All the damn chemtrails up there. You can't see shit out there. You probably would struggle to see it with a telescope. Unless you're in a clean air area. But I want you to get the movie. Get the movie The Night of the Two Moons. Get the movie The Night of the Two Moons. Now, in the movie is what I've been always telling you with the moonchild slavery, science of the Illuminati. Here's the plot. 2 women go the same day. Now, this is out in 2018. 2 women go on the same day to the same in vitro fertilization clinic at the same time to get an in vitro fertilization, but they get mixed up and get their child DNA mixed up. So they end up having each other's child. That's what they're doing. I said, bingo. I've been telling you. I've been trying to tell you that if you go through IVF, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm just telling you what the agenda is. You aren't having your own child anymore. They have found some type of quantum nanophysics of doing something with the embryo, the egg, whatever it is, whatever they mess with in there. I'm not a woman. I don't know what they mess with. I haven't done the research, or I haven't had another woman tell me yet. But when they break it down to me, I'm going to give you the science of it. But they showed it on the show Evil that anybody going through IVF ain't having a child no more. You're having a child. You're having a Illuminati slave moon child. It's called a moon child. That's why they named the movie The Night of the Two Moons. You get it? You get it? Trying to give it to you. Okay. I done told you. Now watch you start seeing movies. Every time we say something on this channel, it's a reproduction of what we say like 3 times over and over. Watch you start seeing it. The 2 moons symbolize 2 different incompatible feelings that you have regarding something that's perhaps spiritual in your life. Now they had to sacrifice 2 black men as goyim for this two moon ritual. I noticed they did a sacrifice. They went and killed the brother Marcellus Williams. This was the brother that was executed. They tried to ask the Biden administration and Kamala Harris. Apparently, they said he killed somebody back in like the 80s, some woman who was a reporter for some newspaper or something like that. And they didn't find no DNA of the brother. They just arrested him, just like, you know, what they do to melanated people. And he was in jail for like 30 years. And they had the execution on the table a couple of times, but they kept pushing it back. And I think this was the perfect date because he was executed on 9/24/24, like 966 or 666. And they killed this brother who was his religion, faith was Islam. And he died at 6:00 p.m. or a.m. And he died in Missouri, which is the 23rd state. And you got the 23rd means 2 3s, 33. Moorish Masonic ritual. So this is a sacrifice, a 2 moon Quran prophecy that the system will be destroyed, and the signs and the symbolism is their downfall. As they say, with Allah, all things is possible, is what they say. So the Allah reference, the Islamic symbol is a moon. So they had to kill him first. Because of the moon symbol in Islam is overridden. And even the sister of the woman, the woman that was killed, she came out and begged them. She begged them not to kill this dude, and they still killed him. Yeah, the Little Shop of Horror. I remember that. Yeah. And then they killed his other young brother, Javion McGee. And this was the spiritual part because he died in Henderson, North Carolina. And that's where I did the lecture at last week. Henderson, North Carolina. I went to Henderson, North Carolina. And guess what? Aline Bay told me the street he died on was like 2 minutes away from us. Right by the highway. So they killed this truck driver riding through Henderson. I don't know if the KKK got him, but they grabbed him and they hung him from a tree. And they tried to say that he bought a rope from Walmart and hung himself. But you know, melanated men, if we gonna kill ourselves, the last thing we would do is hang ourselves from a tree. Why would we invoke that type of history? If we gonna hang ourselves, we're probably doing it in our own homes, and that don't really even happen either. We'll probably hang ourselves in a prison cell or something like that if they locked us up and we can't get out for no reason. But nonetheless, I did the numerology. Javion equals 223. Henderson equals 322. Skull and bones. He was lynched. Lynch equals 201. Lynch equals 201. This happens with 111 days left in the year. He was killed in Vance County, North Carolina, 111. Vance County, North Carolina, 2024. They've been planning this ritual. They've been planning a 2024 ritual. He was from Aurora, Chicago. Remember the Venezuelan gang video I did? That was in Aurora, Colorado. Why this Aurora keeps popping back up? Equals 222, just like Kamala Harris. Order out of chaos equals 222. Hang equals 21. Javion was 21 years old. He was killed on Vance Mills Road equals 38. Equals 38. Javion McGee 102. Henderson 102 to reverse 201. Henderson and Javion McGee both equals 48. So he was just a target. He was a target because of his gematria. His gematria made sense. That's why they targeted him. So those two brothers was killed for the 2 moon. Now I want you to get another movie for this 2 moon thing called Endless. I got to check on my son in the next room in a second, guys. He in there watching Mario Kart. Since I showed him Mario Kart, he loved that Mario Kart. Hold on. Came out in 2017. Endless is the name of it. Now, in the movie, Endless, hold on. So this is, they showed the portal in the sky. I said, bingo, because they got the 2 moons right here. The Endless. And then I looked up, I was watching it, and then I caught this scene. The first time they seen the 2 moons was him and this woman, and she was making jokes about some occult shit. The woman was making a joke about the occult and how they can put these 2 moons up there. And then he asks, he said, because this is a mirror reflection of a rim. He says, is the reflection solid or can you go through it? I said, bingo, that the 2 moons is a portal. It don't got nothing to do with 2 actual moons. When you learn the physics of what asteroids are, which I'm going to get into in the Sumerian myth with Tiamat, then you will know that all of these things are occurring as a reflection of our inner verse, our inner worlds, to what's happening out here. All they're doing is mapping and doing the numerology when it's going to occur, and then they're strewing with it to tell you, oh, it's going to be a second moon in the sky, when in actuality is an asteroid, and it does change the electromagnetism once it enters into the atmosphere of the moon and the earth, because the moon is connected to the earth. So whatever is a part of the moon's geomagnetic atmosphere is connected to earth. Same shit. Yeah, we're about to get into Tiamat. We can get into it in a minute. Now, it's a portal. So those who ask the question, there you go. Get the TV series Rings of Power. and get the other TV series that's out right now from season 3. Get both of these TV series. It's going to be homework. This is going to be homework right here. In Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. Just look at that name. The Doors was digging for something called mithril to make the rings. The mithril was being harvested by the Doors, and the mithril ain't nothing but melanin. The original dwarf god is a god named Bes. And Bes stands by, the dwarf god is called Bes, and he stands behind Harpocrates, which is the child of silence. Hold on, wait for this thing to load. Okay. This is the statue Bes. This is the original dwarf here. This is where they get doors from. Ain't no real doors walking around and shit. They be taking archetypes over there and they remake it into some stuff. This just came from the Twa people, the Khoikhoi. The Khoikhoi people's first god was Bes, and he's the first archetype or male archetype of Osiris. I got that in the book. Teutonism, Atenism. Get the book Teutonism, Atenism. Hold on. Tutankhamun, Aminism. I knew I messed that up. My bad, y'all. I said Teutonism. Make myself laugh sometimes. By E. Wallace Budge. And in that book, I showed the picture before. He shows the oldest picture of Osiris. And Osiris is a little door god, a little pygmy god. Look, Auntie in the chat, Auntie said, go check on that baby. Let me go check on him real quick. Auntie said it, so I got to do it, guys. All right, buddy. All right. Everything okay? All right. You boo? You boo? All right, I'm in here, okay? All right, he's all right. I asked him, are you all right? He said, yes. So there you go, Auntie. The baby is fine. All right, so they were looking for mithril, and I just showed you the oldest god or the oldest form of Osiris is Bes. And there's a statue of Bes standing behind Horus. And I showed you this a couple of times, that Bes represents the higher self. So this is the true elf, the elf and the dwarf. Is the Egyptian symbol of Harpocrates and Bes. And Bes is supposed to represent the higher self, the higher form of the self. He also represents the monster inside. Kenneth Grant wrote a book on that, about the monster being inside. The monster is a esoteric analogy of how the soul is, because they believe from a occult perspective that the soul will one day engulf and devour this dimension and flip this dimension inside out, whereas the spiritual will be the main dimension and the physical will go away. It will be faint. just as the spiritual dimension now is faint and the physical is in play. So the series is speaking about Sauron's blood. I wish they have a picture of it. I didn't get it. But you see how it says Sauron has black blood. That's going into, now some people are going to talk about, oh, that's the black goo, the programmable graphene oxide and all that type stuff. And I understand what that is, but I'm trying to tell you what that the black goo is a synthetic version of melanin. I'm gonna prove that in a second. It says Sauron has black blood in Lord of the Rings of Power, a unique characteristic that connects him to the original Dark Lord Morgoth. That's the Moors. Tolkien never explicitly stated that Sauron had black blood in his works, and no other Maya, the type of being Sauron originally was, had black blood either. Now look, Bobby did a video on this in the 90s. Maybe Miss Erica could attest to it. But shout out to Leha. Let me refresh this. Leha is taking the Bobby Hemmett videos and she's making short clips for us. So shout out to Leha on Patreon. I don't know if she's in here right now, but she's doing great work. Let me play you this so you can know what the black blood is.
Decombs phantoms. In the movie, they're going to be talking about the ancient enemy. Now, this movie is this particular black substance taking over this town and killing all these white people up in northern Maine or something. Same black substance that's on the X-Files every week. Same black substance that was in the X-Files movie. That this black substance that was around before the dinosaurs that will replace man using man as the host. That ain't nothing but the melanin inside of you. When this thing took over this town, this black substance, and killed all these white people, he was the person that had to come in, and the United States government came and got him. So now there's a black guy in there that's one of the chief people that's over this research team that's got to come in and find out what this black substance called the ancient enemy is. The black guy started asking him, what is this stuff? And he said,
just what is this thing? Chaos. Chaos in the flesh.
Pure and simple. But we know that chaos is melanin. So they get to the actual place and these men suits come out. Literally what it does, it breaks out their helmets and breaks through the glass and kill them. So the black guy standing outside trying to find out what this thing is, and all the white people around a little bit this left. And this stuff comes from up under the ground and goes in his suit. As soon as it goes in his suit, this black substance fills up his helmet and comes back down. And he's looking and he said,
my flesh. Study it. Write the gospel. But do not try to leave. Witnesses to the miracle.
Anyway, they take this black substance and hook it up to a computer. And it goes on telling, I want you all to die. And different stuff like that. But it also says, when it starts talking to them, it says,
one of your species has theorized my existence.
Your human species, which is talking about black people, because it's talking to some white people.
Only in me can you achieve immortality. Nothing God, nothing Christ.
This black substance. Now, when you go and get the book, in so many pages, he explains what this stuff is. And he says it's called hydrocarbon. Now, if you go and get Carol Barnes' book, Melanin, the Key to Black Greatness, you'll see up in there. It's all in the movie. It's all in the book. Hydrocarbon, which is melanin.
There you go. There you go, bingo. So yeah, I know a lot of people left off that because a lot of people, the thought of it being connected to melanated people, which we try to say, you know, spirituality has, you know, no color or race. There's a reason why the focal story over the past how many months, we only got 3 months left, all the stories about melanated people. I'm not trying to say who's better or who's not. What Bobby just saying, the prototype of whatever this substance is melanated people. Whatever the prototype is. I'm not saying that there ain't nobody else with it. So we have to, if for you to break through, you have to understand that these things in civilizations, how the mythology was based upon, they were writing about these people. And it was something that made a electrogenetic shift in our frequency that changed the standard of what it was. And there had to be a divide of what we are as a human species. And that there ain't nothing wrong with that. But the point is to break through to understand what this thing fully is. He said, not in Christ, not in anything. The only way you're going to discover this is through those people's flesh. They discovered the first word for Christ was called chrysomelis. The very first word for Christ is called chrysomelnos or melnos. Chrysomelnos is in a Greek book called Parallel Myths by Robert. Parallel Myths by Robert. Maybe I got the name wrong. I could have sworn his name was Robert something because I got the book. He's talking about, okay, his name is J.F. Berlin. Parallel Myths. This book right here. He's going to talk about chrysomelnos. The chrysomelnos means literally black Christ. Now, what is this chrysomelnos? The soul is nothing but a sun inside of our body. S-O-L. And just like any fire or any type of fire, but this is a spiritual fire, it exudes this black substance, like almost like soot. Like soot on a wall or something. When you see fire come close to a wall, it turns it brown or black. That's the soot or the soot that comes from the fire. That's where the black goo is being produced inside of the body. And all humans have it because it's produced. I won't say all humans. A lot of humans have it because your neuromelanin in your brain that gives you the spiritual eye to dream or to get prophecy is produced by the main glands, pineal, hypothalamus, pituitary. So you have to get over the racial aspect because that makes everyone shut up. They shut themselves off because half the people either been bombarded by a Eurocentric type of understanding of this information for so long. When I try to tell you that the black goo is melanin, they'll stop and freeze up and say, oh, that ain't what it is. It's the black goo is nothing but the synthetic version of melanin. They recreated goddamn melanin and made it synthetic. Does that make more sense? So I'm not telling you that the black goo don't exist and it ain't a military, whatever the fuck it is, and all of these music videos, but I'm trying to tell your ass that it originally is melanin in the body. Hydrocarbon. And it's in the earth. It's in the body and it's in the earth. Shit, you can call this shit oil. Oil looks like the same damn thing. So, in oil one of the main minerals on the planet, right? That's what we going to war over. But melanin, how much is melanin worth now? This is from the movie Alien. If I'm lying, let's see if Ani lying. How much is melanin worth? Melanin is worth between $450, $550 per gram. Now, some of y'all smoke weed. How much is a gram of marijuana? Can y'all put that in the chat for people? How much is marijuana? You see? So you got to leave the racism aside. It's some real shit. You see this at the end? It says the natural melanin found in black people is estimated to be 8 times more valuable than gold. What? With the skin pigmentation in a typical black person's body being worth over 40 million. Now I already know what they're going to do. What's the source? What's the source of that? You can stroll up and down and find it. If the source ain't well enough for you, stroll up and down and go through all of it. They have whole melanin conferences. Look up the book, The Melanotropic Peptides. These people have melanin conferences every year. Now, I ain't talking about black people. Melanotropic peptides is a book. Look at this shit. They got a whole book on. You try to read this book by Mac E. Hadley on what you said. What it does is it basically is a conduit. It's a conduit, David. It's a conduit of spirituality. It's something in it. Matter of fact, they just figured out that melanin is a new resource they can use for computers, computer chips. Let me pull that up. Oh, there they go. No, it's not true. I'm going to play the doctor. If it's not true, let me play the doctor and see what he got to say. Hold on. I'm going to play this guy right here.
Melanin pigment, right? Right. Is so unbelievable, George. They're using it in computer chips now because it has an ability to transduce electrical energy and manipulate electrons, electronic energy, and photons, photonic energy. It's a fascinating molecule.
There you go. We're going to say the doctor lying? He looked like he was pretty confident to me. That looked like a very confident person saying that. It didn't look like somebody that didn't know what the hell they were talking about. He didn't have to think about what he was talking about. Yeah. Yeah, it's worth $40 million. One black body, 40 million. Why you think we got to be the poorest? They got to reverse the polarity. You said it's linked to vitiligo? Probably so. Melanin, see, what you're talking about, Rick, melanin don't have specifically to do with skin color. That article didn't say nothing about skin color. It's talking about melanocytes. They're cells in the organs that produce this melanin. It's a whole nerve. Your central nervous system is connected through it. your whole central nervous system. So they don't found melanin in other people. It ain't just black people. It's just black people produce the most of it. So people got to get over that. Shoot, you don't want to be the number one target on the goddamn planet. I mean, now other people feeling like they're targets now because they see the government. This thing was never about a race thing. It was to set up this light and black thing and then start to divide the whiteness, because now you see on a lot of alt-right websites, they're anti-Jewish. They're saying the Jews is a whole different apparatus of a race. They don't cut and divide it that. And now they're saying, okay, well, all of us need to get together and go against the Jews. That's what they're proposing. I'm not saying that that's what they're proposing. But you have to understand how the mind control goes. And I'm just telling it to you raw. Ain't nobody going to tell it to you raw. But in the series Rings of Power, getting back to it, Sauron's blood is melanin. There you go. You got it. Sauron is Lucifer and Prometheus, and he was able to manifest the mithril from the doors without the doors because he had the melanin in his blood. He could produce the mithril without them, and he gave it to Celebrimbri in the show. The elves represent the kingdom of light. The orcs is the kingdom of darkness. They gave you a melanated elf, a melanated dwarf, and queen. The queen of Numenor is named Tar Miriel. And there was an article, Black People in Lord of the Rings. You got to see how these people went crazy, boy. They did not like no black people up no Lord of the Rings. Here's the article. While there were no black elves in the Lord of the Rings books of film, Tolkien's source material does not explicitly preclude a black elf from existing. However, there are dark-skinned human races in Middle Earth, such as Eastling, Swarthy men, Harbordreen, and other primitive tribes. I went and read 2 years ago that he did have a melanated person in his book. He had a couple of them. Said Rings of Power is suffering a racist backlash. And just because there's some melanated people in it, they're saying that the Rings of Power is trash. DEI. They're screaming the word DEI. And I'm trying to tell you, you better go watch that shit. You better put that shit aside. Is he? He said, don't they worship the Sirius star, Astar, and believe like the Canaanites that get honey or good crops for financial times ahead because of all the sacrifices? I'm gonna assume, Ed, you're talking about Jews or Jewish people. That's what I'm gonna assume, but you didn't clarify. You said, "Cold up, Ani, don't get stuck talking about them motherfuckers." I'm good, man. So it's in the blood. Is all through the system. Cosmic stylist. It's all through the system. So she was using Tar Miriel is the melanated queen in the show. They did her dirty. They got to do some type of ritual. They took the crown from her ass and gave it to another a white man. I forgot why they gave it to him, but this is a big part of the story. They were mad over her playing this role, but she's the queen of Numenor, and she has this crystal ball. This thing loading too long. I really don't know why my computer is acting like this. Where's that crystal ball she had? Here's the crystal ball. Hold on, ain't it? Well, you got to watch the show because they ain't showing it. is in the show where she looks through this crystal ball. Let me try Numenor crystal ball, because the elves gave her the ball. Okay, they probably don't got it in here. You guys got to look it up yourself. But the elves gave her this crystal ball. Now let me explain what that is. It's a palantir. I guess that's what it is. Let me try palantir. It's a person called, they're the far-sighted, a person who looks in it. Okay, here it goes right here. This it. Yeah, this is it right here. Now, the palantir, they're showing you what time it is when she, because she's the queen. She's a human, but she's using this palantir. She was using the elf technology to scope the astral plane. So when I understood that, the crystal ball within itself represents the pineal gland. This is Galadriel. Galadriel represents Sophia. But the crystal ball or the palantir is the pineal. That's the pineal gland in the show. And Galadriel was the first to fall to Sauron, just like Sophia. Then you had Celebrimbor or Celebrimbor. I've been calling him Celebrimbor the whole time. I messed up some names, y'all. Quick. So Celebrimbor, he's the ruler of Aragoin. Aragoin is the city, or is Solomon, King Solomon, because he built Aragoin, the land of the ring crafters, and he named the walls of Aragoin I wish I could show y'all these walls that they may not have it out yet. But he built these walls. That's what the last episode is about, breaking the wall, or the second to the last. He named the walls of Aragoin Moria, the Moria walls. I said that's the Moorish connection. Because the Moria, Aragoin, the city, let me just try to show you the city. And maybe they'll put the walls in there. Aragoin is America. You got to pay attention to the plot. Am I spelling this thing right? Yeah, I'm spelling it right. I don't know why they ain't showing us a thing, but let's go look at the series. But Aragoin is America, and the Moria or the Moria wall is synonymous to the whole immigrant situation in the whole Roman story of Romulus and Remus building the wall. It's all in there. So if you're paying attention to Lord of the Rings, there's some stuff that you can connect to what's going on right now. All right, we spent a lot of time on that. Go get the series from season 3 just came out. They got another melanated man in there who's the sheriff of the city. His name is Boyd. Now, season 3 started off with a bang. It was sad they had to kill the Asian woman, the mother of the guy. But if you looked at the first episode, because the whole series is about these people getting trapped in an alternative dimension once this tree fall down you have to turn down this road and you enter this town where people have been trapped there for years. One boy, him right here, I've got his name. He grew up and became a grown man in the town. He's one of the main actors too. I think he was in Lost as well, or he was a writer or something on it. He's a hell of an actor. But at night, these monsters come out disguised as people, and they turn into these wraiths, and they'll tear you apart. So you have to put this stone on the door. Now, Boyd is the one who found the stone, the melanated man, because the stone represents the alchemy, and the stone represents the temple. The Masonic aspect is talking about the stone over and over. That's why everything in hip hop and these movies is connected to some type of stone. You look at Jay-Z's label, Rock Nation, Rockefeller. The rock is the stone. All of this rock stuff. Even with Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion's last name is Pete. And the original word for stone was Petra. And she met Tory Lanez at the Rock Nation brunch. Tory Lanez' full name is Daystar Peterson. The word Peter means Petra, which means rock or stone. The rock of ages is Christ. Pete Rock, there you go. All of this rock connections. You said Palantir was also the name of Peter Thiel's sketchy AI for police and military. Interesting, Jorge. Shout out to Jorge in Summer. So, yeah, in Mecca, they got all of that stuff is connected. But in the last episode, I haven't seen the newest one, but the last episode, the monsters wouldn't kill Boyd when they came out, because you got to understand he's one of the monsters. He don't know it yet. But they said, why would we? They said the monster said to him, why would we kill you when we could watch you suffer? That's the whole aspect of what's going on with melanated people. They said, well, why would we kill you when we could watch you just suffer and have fun? And they started to tear the Asian lady. They started to go to work on her. But the whole thing is they're in an alternative dimensional loop where you have to use the trees as a portal technology. Who noticed that? Put a thumb up if you notice that the trees are showing these two balls are called parabolas around the toroidal field. That's what portal physics is. They're called parabolas, hyperdimensional travel. Everyone has this around their body. This is where the Jewish or the Judaic text got the whole two ball came from. These are the two balls. Pause. Let me pause on that. But these are the original two balls right here. Yeah, I had to put a super pause on that. Okay. The From TV series is actually about a American or a Canadian Native American tribe called the Beothuk, the Beothuk demon, which was a shapeshifter. It was about a man named John Cabot, and his last expedition was in 1498. Cabot was the first of three medieval European explorers to reach North America. The correlation in the show is that John Cabot's ship name is the Matthew. And that's funny because from season 1 of From, it begins with the Matthew family getting trapped in the town. So if you guys want that full decode, wait for the last episode. I think it came out. Wait for the end of this season, and we'll break the whole thing down. I already got the information to break it down for you. Now, they had to kill Darth Vader, or at least the voice of Darth Vader. Let me show you this ritual real quick. I don't even think I put his pictures in here. Hold on. They had to kill Darth Vader. And it was for a particular reason. James Earl Jones, who does the voice of Darth Vader, which they just announced that Disney has bought his voice right before he died. So they can just AI his voice over and over. And I think that was a bad move by his family. But anyways, he dies in the Lion Gate ritual when we first moved into the Maga Nakshatra. If you don't know what the Maga Nakshatra is, it's connected to Leo. The Maga Nakshatra is Leo. Now, why is that important? It's because James Earl Jones, he is the Lion King. Didn't he play Mufasa voice? Mufasa was the Lion King, not Simba, the king at the end, because that's the whole Osiris and Horus story. Lion King was the Osiris and Horus story. They had the whole ancestors and the stars and all of that. So they killed him, and he was the voice of Mufasa. You get it? Lion King. And if you don't understand, you got to look up King Kill Rituals by James B. Downard. Get the book King Kill 33 by James Shelby Downard, where they got to kill the king. They've been doing this for a long time. King Kill 33 is the name of the book. So they killed the king during the King Nakshatra, because who's going to win the election is going to determine coming out of Maga, because Maga is the throne and the election represents the race to the throne, as Kalini, our Yotishi, broke down for us. Yes, Coming to America too. He was you're right. God damn. That's why I need y'all up in here. In Coming to America, he's King Joffrey. You get it? It's King Joffrey with the lion on his shoulder. God damn. God damn it. He didn't even know they were planning a ritual off that. This is some crazy stuff right here. This is some crazy stuff, man. I didn't even know I was going to find that connection. Damn. God damn. I'm telling you right now. Now, let me give you the numbers. They killed James Earl Jones 237 days after his birthday. 237 was the room in the movie The Shining. It's called Room 237. This is the room. This is a very, very Masonic room. Matter of fact, Doja Cat was bathing in some black goo in the same room in one of them videos. But he was in The Shining. See, you forgot that. He was in The Shining as Dr. Strange Love. Hold on. Oh, no, my bad. He wasn't in The Shining. He was in Kubrick's first movie. Sorry, I read that incorrectly. Doctor Strange Love, Kubrick's first movie, was starred by James Earl Jones. So there you go. Doctor Strange Love. He played Lieutenant Lothar Zog, which equals 237. All right. So we always talk about the number 47. James Earl Jones is dead 47 years after he took on the voice acting role for Darth Vader. Darth Vader equals 47. We know the 47 degrees on the Masonic compass. If you don't know that, check my videos. He is dead at the age of 93. The word Saturn is 93. Darth Vader represents Saturn. He's dead on a Monday after the moon, when one of Saturn's moon is called Mimas, replicates the Death Star from the iconic movie series Star Wars. I'm going to talk about that moon Mimas later when I get to the lecture. When I get to the lecture portion. He dies 4 months and 8 days before his next birthday. James Earl Jones equals 48. So does Illuminati. The eclipse this year was on 4/8. Get it? Darth Vader, the dark side of the eclipse. If you put his name in, if you put James, hold on, let me exit some of this stuff. Put the name James Jones, leave the middle name out. Let me see if it pops up. James Jones equals 666. He dies 130 days before his next birthday. He dies 130 days in the Purist cipher. They killed him. Had the two pillars in the room. All right. Now we got to understand that the hurricane, and they did all of this because the hurricane represents the Trump slogan, "The storm is coming." Y'all remember that? Some people forgot about that. It's interesting because Trump's Mar-a-Lago club could get hit by a tropical storm. That shit ain't get hit. But it's called "A Storm is Coming." Here we go right here. The storm is coming. Now, we already had the first storm. They initiated the ritual when they stormed Capitol Hill, which I broke down the day of on my first channel. But this next one is dealing with Kamala, who is masquerading her archetype as Venus, as Kalini always puts it. The storm is coming. Now, when they killed James Earl Jones, they didn't realize that the whole election is about the Sith law of two. You see how Kamala Harris is dressed like the girl from the failed Disney series Star Wars Acolyte. And I know it's bad because they put melanated people in it and then they make it all gay. Because I told you go get the book. Bobby told you about the book. Robert Antoine Wilson, Everything is Under Control. in the book, it said, in the future, gay people will fear being cloned out of existence. And the gay people becomes a code word, he says in the book, because if you go into the African-American section in the library, you will always find the LGBT section right next to the black section. So they were saying in the future that they're going to make black people the face of LGBT, which is a ritual. And they were actually saying that black people feared being cloned out of existence, because Star Wars is all about the Clone Wars. Star Wars, but they got this girl, and they've been grooming her. They've been grooming her in liberal type movies for a minute. They've been having her do the whole race mix scenes since she was a little girl. They had her in a Nazi movie, fell in love with a Nazi. What was the name of that movie? Amanda Stenberg Nazi movie. Where Hands Touch. That just sounds like a disgusting movie. Where Hands Touch. She fell in love with a Nazi up in that movie. So they've been grooming her since she was little to play this role. But the name of the movie is Where Hands Touch. And if you understand, the whole gear of Star Wars is all based on the Nazis. The whole white supremacists, look up the alt-right stormtroopers. Then they got a website called Stormtroopers. Pepe and the Stormtroopers. It's an article on it. Because they say when they kill a melanated person, it's like a Masonic initiation called Ride the Light. Is when they kill a melanated person without impunity, meaning they won't be punished. It says alt-right Trumpsters discover the true meaning of Star Wars. This is interesting. I haven't read this. But you guys could go read it. I'm just saying. I'm just showing you where you can go read it. Where I can tell you, I know what the hell I'm talking about. This stuff is all about Nazism. But this is the thing. They put the black girl in there, and they gave her a gay mother. And this is why it turned everyone off, because they ain't never seen Star Wars doing all of this. And Disney is producing this. So it's all liberal. But the point is, she represents Kamala Harris. Because Kamala had the same purple outfit with the mask on at the inauguration. She's the alkalite. Now you got to look up the Sith Law of Two. It says 2 active Sith at the same time. The rule of the 2 of the Star Wars universe requires 2 active Sith at the same time, one embodying the power of the dark side, the other craving it. The practice of the rule of 2 guarantees with each generation the Sith will grow stronger by having the apprentice kill the master. One of them presidents got to die, family. I don't know who it is. They said something about Trump. Trump got shot at again. I broke that down on Patreon, by the way. Somebody got to die. This is a Sith election. Yeah, I showed Joe Biden looks just like the Sith Lord. Palpatine. He looks just like him. That's why they killed Darth Vader. Now you get it. Kill Darth Vader. Now somebody got to die. It's all ritual. All right, I hope you get that. Let's move on. Let's move on. All right. I was going to break down Kamala's smile. Put a thumb up if you want me to break down that smile she got, or we can just move on. Put a thumb up if you want to move on, or put a heart if you want me to break that smile she be doing down, break it down she be doing all the time. And we'll circle back if need be, because I can go into Diddy information right now. He said the 2 moons will be here until the election is over. Now, the 2 moons, they said both moons in the sky will be up for 57 days. You see, for 57 days, you see this? All you got to do is go to your gematria calculator and put in the word moon. And now you understand why it was a ritual, because moon equals 57 in the purest cipher. That's an asteroid. That ain't no goddamn moon. Moon equals 57. That's why they said 57 days. All right, y'all want me to break down? Okay, y'all want me to do the Joker smile? Y'all petty, man. They said break the Joker smile down. Where is her smile at? Where is her? It's occult though, family. It's very occult. It's not funny. Hold on, we got a lot to get into. I haven't even. Did y'all see they found her Irish grandmother? So this grandmother was a hoax right here, because this grandmother name was Beryl. Her grandmother was the name of the last hurricane. You remember I showed you that? Her name was Beryl or Beryl. Beryl. It's a chemical called Beryl. And Kamala Harris initiated Project Houston, which is that was a Project 2025 after Beryl. Okay, I seen it. I seen it late off the corner of my eye. Project 2025 for Houston. Kamala Harris claims that she's a descendant of Oscar Joseph Harris and Beryl Finnegan, who had Donald Harris. They don't figure out that was a lie. Candace Owens did the research. She's a Freemason too. Well, she works with them people. But it's actually, she had an Irish grandmother that died a couple of years ago. And I get that because Iris, within itself, the word Iris comes from iris, and it means eye, like the Illuminati eye. But he even says in his memoir that he's half Irish. So I don't even know why they thought it was that woman anyway. But they also discovered that whoever this woman is, let me figure out her name. Because I had the obituary. Okay. This is what I wanted to get to right here. Let me show you something. People are homunculus. That's what a moon child is. That's what I've been trying to tell y'all. So they figured that her ancestor is Hamilton Brown. This is the biggest slave owner. Did you know that most Jamaicans have the last name Brown? My homeboy the other day, I didn't even know he was Jamaican. Excuse me. But he told me his name is Brown because of a slave owner who had the last name Brown on some of the most slaves. It's like 11 slave families of the Caribbeans, and the Brown family was one of the biggest. Kamala Harris, great grandmother, the Irish grandmother, is a descendant of him. They owned the most slaves in Jamaica. You see? They own the most slaves in Jamaica. Here's her obituary. Okay, I found it, guys. Her name is Vioris Anita McPherson. Then it says, with great sadness, the family of Vioris Anita Harris. See, they slipped that Harris in right here. McPherson, Cambridge, announces her passing. You see how they don't put that Harris up here? That's deceitful. Remembered by her children, spouses, grandchildren, etc., etc. Here's that rock again. Christ the Rock Community Church. Now look at this. So she had Alzheimer's. 322 8th Street. There's that 322. You see, I talked about Venom Main G on Patreon. That Venom connects to the black goo as well, the melanin. I talked about it on Patreon. So there's that connection. But here's the smile. This is from the anime Attack on Titan. Has the same smile. Pot of Greed from Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is another new anime called Solo Rising. Solo Rising had the smile, and I forgot where this from. Y'all can put, I don't know if that's the House of Dragons or whatever that is. Kamala's smile is called glamourmancy. It was a practice. They practiced this in England, around the Welsh. It was some type of enchantment charm spell. You know, you always hear her evil ass laugh as she give that smile. The LGBT, they're big on glamourmancy. I read in a book. They really study glamourmancy. If you type LGBT glamour spells, you'll see a lot of stuff pop up. But they call it internet gossip portals, illusory charms, because the word glamour, it means a lot of things, but one of the meaning is a great promise. That's what she's here to do. And the Scotland people wrote about a spell where they imagine a luminous halo around the face to induce some type of mind control when smiling or having certain facial features distributed. This is the trickster archetype shadow expression, which is the evil smile of Kamala. It appears as a grin or an evil smile when the trickster knows he has successfully siphoned a person's energy, or when they have taken control, dominated, or overpowered the other party. The trickster also laughs when something bad happens or during a mistake, but they're trying to cover their tracks by calling their opponent too serious to avoid responsibility. If someone holds you accountable for a mistake, it's just too serious. You can laugh at them, troll them, or play other tricks on them so they get confused or distracted. It's called a form of gaslighting that you often see in uninvolved Mercurials, people that's ruled by the sign Gemini, Virgo, Mercury dominance in their astrological chart. Also, people with the dominant 3rd and 6th house will have a tendency to laugh about their problems or their inability to solve problems, or when other people criticize or judge them. The evil laugh of the trickster is a form of entity attachment of a demonic possession that operates on subtle levels of the nervous system as a form of defense mechanism, so the person can self-regulate and pretend that everything is fine. That's heavy. It's also a survival pattern, a coping mechanism to deal with the environment that isn't funny at all. So if we can laugh it off, if we all just laugh it off, it's no longer serious. So when there's literally nothing to laugh about and what is happening is suffocating or extremely restrictive or obsessively controlling towards us, we are completely overpowered, and the trickster laugh helps the person pretend that everything is fine when it's actually not. So there you go. That's how that science goes. That's how that, yeah, that's dark psychology, right? Sicko smile. So it makes me think of the debate when Kamala said that was extreme. Right. Yeah, yeah. All right. Let's see where we at now. We don't made a good dent in the information. Let's get to the Diddy thing. Let's cover the Diddy thing because I know y'all want to hear that. Now, I did a full video on my Patreon called the Diddy Codes. I'm not going to go through all the Diddy information. We're pressed through time. But go get the Diddy Codes on Patreon right now. It's called the Diddy Codes. We went heavy on that. A lot of people are talking about that. Now, one thing I didn't get to show, I have some new connections I'm going to make, and I'm going to just be adding files to the Diddy Codes throughout the year. I'm going to have a Diddy Codes Part 2 come out soon. And I want you to watch this. I don't want to play this. I'm not going to play it. I don't want to strike, but I'll play it on Patreon. Y'all come on Patreon. Y'all can hear this thing because there's another connection to Diddy in a commercial that no one really figured out about. So I won't play it. All right. So there's, like I said, there's been books about this guy being the devil. So the surprise wasn't so surprising. When he was arrested, when his house was raided, we knew he was doing weird stuff. We knew he probably was involved in a couple murders or at least knew who was involved. We just know this guy was bad news. The way he took his career towards a dark path out of the Biggie and Tupac whole thing. He was supposed to be some, dancing, entertaining producer. Like what Suge Knight said, all up in the videos. He was just supposed to be some goofy guy like that. And when the people started dying, everybody started to look at him a certain way because it's almost like he was killing off his artists to get the catalog before that whole thing started for that. But one thing, a new thing I discovered, that Diddy's Los Angeles home, which Judge Joe Brown said was the only home that wasn't raided by the federal government, his Los Angeles home has a grotto in it. And a grotto is like this old tunnel system built underneath it. So there is a tunnel under Diddy's Los Angeles home. And there's a lot of these tunnels connected. And I found a video. I'm gonna play you this video to give you some information on how those tunnels work.
Magazine reports it has just discovered blueprints for a network of tunnels beneath the mansion that supposedly led to the homes of Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, James Caan.
Will you watch yourself, all right?
And Kirk Douglas. Now dig this, a photo from the late 70s allegedly showing an excavation in progress beneath the mansion. And this one shows the newly discovered tunnel plans. Check out the bunny logo on the plywood wall. Best of all, the blueprint. It says this tunnel leads to James Caan's house, this one to Jack Nicholson's, this one to Kirk Douglas's, and this one goes all the way to...
They show that the tunnels, it connects to all of the Hollywood stars that's connected in the whole cabal. So the people who's connected in the cabal, they could just tunnel the kids or tunnel the sex trafficked victims up under the house and no one would ever know. So that when that whole thing comes out, is interested. They didn't go in that house. I want to see how that whole thing comes out now that he's arrested. But on his back, no one is decoding this. On Diddy's back, he has the voodoo goddess named Erzulie Danter. Why did he get Erzulie Danter, the voodoo goddess, on his back tattooed? What you got to understand with that Erzulie Danter symbolizes womanhood, love, sexuality, prosperity, pleasure, maternity, creativity, and fertility. But look at this. She is considered a protector of women and children. You know how they do the Jesuit puppets. They do the same thing as the Jesuits. reverse the polarity. So it's supposed to be a protector of women and children, but is also a sexuality goddess. Love. She's representative of Venus. Diddy right now is in his Venus return, as Kalini told us. Diddy's in his Venus return. Venus represents Lady Liberty. The statue of Lady Liberty, with her not that form of it. I don't want to Statue of Liberty. It's courtroom. Hold on. When he showed the woman with the blindfold, when you go in, here it is. This is a picture of Lady Liberty right here. That's Venus. This is Venus right here. That's Mayat. But that's a form of Freya, and it's a form of I think is it Thea or is Themis? Themis. The goddess Themis is the goddess of justice, law, and order. But that's all Venus. Venus is that. So he's in his Venus return right now. So you can get that full science in the breakdown. I'll go through the whole gematria. I'll give you all of that. Can't give you all of that information on here. Donald Trump has been taking pictures with Diddy all the way back to the 90s. So he's been connected with Diddy. And also Diddy went to the same college as Kamala Harris. Howard University. I think he even attended the college while she was there, because I read an article and saw a video on how Uptown Records, Andre Harrell, was recruiting him for Uptown Records, and he was bringing him through Howard University back in 1984, 1985. She graduated 1986. Diddy started his freshman year, 1987, and he took over the party scene as a freshman. You can't now, me, I'm an ex-party promoter. I used to throw parties. I ain't throw no Diddy parties, but I used to throw like parties at the local little bar. We'll throw a high school little party or something like that. And we used to do that like every weekend. I know going to college, you can't just throw a party because no one is going to know you on a campus that big. He had to be ingratiated into that environment, so to speak. And that was Andre Harrell, Uptown Records. But notice Howard University equals 201. So there's a connection between Diddy connection between Kamala Harris, Diddy, and Donald Trump, because the election this year, when is the election? November 5th. When is Diddy's birthday? November 4th, one day before. One day before. And I think the god Osei Kufor just made the post that the 444 Jay-Z album could be connected to Diddy, because Jay-Z's birthday is on December 4th. Diddy's birthday is on November 4th. And I think Beyonce's birthday is on October 4th. Could be the 444 there. Yeah, Diddy was funded by the Democratic Party to do the vote or die. And I put that on my Patreon video. So absolutely right, Picasso. Now, the New York mayor, Eric, what is his name? Eric Adams. Eric Adams was arrested by the feds. Now, Eric Adams is the 110th mayor of New York. he was arrested 1 year and 10 days after he gave Diddy the key to New York. So after he did this a year and 10 days ago, he gets arrested and he's the 110th mayor of New York. You don't think these numbers have nothing to do with anything? Say, remember the 5th of November. Right. And the guy is a Mason. And he's a Mason. So you already know what all that's all initiation right there. They said Kobe Bryant went to a Diddy party. That was the last party he went to. And there's pictures on Diddy's Instagram page, and he died shortly after that. Kobe Bryant was sacrificed after that. I did the Usher connection. I got to go to the video for that. The person who arrested him, Damian Williams, the seed of Satan, name is Damian. He arrested Diddy, and he's doing the Freemasonic sign of the master hand. I think it's called. No, sign of the mark of the hand. The mark of the hand. Also, the people who owned the baby oil was Johnson & Johnson. I broke down. Johnson is a slang word for you know what? Johnson & Johnson. They even show it right here. Johnson on Johnson play. That's what they're talking about. I broke down why are they doing the sex rituals. It's called erotocomatose lucidity. Get the Diddy codes on Patreon to get my breakdown on that. And I talk about how the org egg is connected to how they implant the entities. But sex ritual equals 114, just like his birthday, 11/4. Diddy also was arrested with 106 days left in the year. Black equals 106, but Jeffrey Edward Epstein equals 106, just like Clive Davis equals 106. And Clive Davis just denied that he even knew Diddy. It's the 106 connection. Diddy played Batman and Joker right before the arrest, 177 months after Heath Ledger's death. Jesuit order equals 177. Diddy and R. Kelly was arrested at the age of 54. The 54 number is interesting because the RICO law, which they hit him with, is 54 years old. Jesuit order equals 54. Son equals 54. And let's not forget, he played in the movie Monsters Ball. He played a character named Lawrence Musgrove, and that was a huge ritual on the black woman. But on Monster Ball, he played where he died in the electric chair, and his full name, Lawrence Musgrove, equals 201. That we've been covering that number this whole goddamn time. Yeah, all you gotta do is go to Patreon to get the full thing. I broke that down on Patreon. That's a secret. You can look at that code on Patreon and the connection to Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong. Now, Cassie, her full name is Cassandra Ventura. Cassandra Ventura equals 54, like Diddy's age. Remember, Diddy is in his Venus return. Venus equals 54. I told you I could connect the astrology to it too. Venus equals 54. I think Cassie is in her Venus too. Let me see what Kalini said. I've got to go to the experts. Cassie Venus is in Chitra Nakshatra. His Venus is in Chitra. And I could break down what Chitra is. I don't want to ruin the video. And Kamala Harris' sun is in Chitra, but her Venus is in Purva Falguni, which is ruled by Venus. So Venus is coming to the end of being debilitated. but that 54 is significant to Venus, are also connected to stars. She's playing the role of Cassiopeia in the skies, which is in the Polaris and Andromeda constellation. And her name means oil. There's something called a cassia oil. It's just like a cinnamon oil, and you know the whole baby oil type thing. Where's the baby oil? I don't even think I put that slide in. That's weird. Hold on, guys. Well, that's probably good. The baby oil thing is a secret. Y'all go look at the damn video. All right. Where are we at now? I could break down some more stuff, but I think that's good. I think that's good, family. Y'all ready for the lecture now? Should we just go into the lecture? Let's see what your comment's saying. I'm going to get me some water. I'm going to come right back. All right. All right. Yeah, that was that. Yeah, we didn't get into the lecture yet. We didn't get into the lecture yet, but we're about to get into it right now. Yeah, like Bobby used to say, that was just hard copy. That's what we call hyperlucidity. That was just hyperlucidity. We're getting into the real thing right now. Where are we? Okay. All right. I got to see where my slides is. So the name of the video is Omni, Corpus, Aqua. It means the multiverse body of waters. I'm talking about all the water rituals they've been doing. Yeah, the baby's good. His mother got him now, auntie. Baby's good. First of all, you gotta understand that everything from the Jesuits, the Pope wears the hat of Dagon. Let me show you this real quick. The Pope is wearing the hat of Dagon, as you may have known. Some of you may have studied this, but there's a lot of people that don't know that the Pope wears the hat of the fish man, which is Dagon. They call it the fish hat. So all of this connects to the cosmic waters. It's an old pagan priest style. They used to worship the fish god Dagon, which is connected to the Dogon, which is connected to Sirius star travel. That's what we're talking about. So the concept of the multiverse body of a water is a metaphysical blend of esotericism and theoretical physics. If we can imagine a colossal ocean that exists not just within our universe, but extends across multiple dimensions and parallel worlds, then we can see that there's a significance in it all, that a vast expanse of water would be a nexus point where various realities interact or intersect. And that creates a surreal environment where the laws of physics as we know them might not apply. In some universes, the water could be luminescent and alive, teeming with a lean marine life. In other words, it might be a frozen expanse suspended in time and space. But the multiverse body of water could serve as a conduit for travel between the worlds, a place of immense beauty and danger where explorers could encounter phenomena beyond their wildest imagination. This concept challenges our understanding of space-time and the very fabric of reality, offering endless possibilities for storytelling and scientific speculation. Now, reading the metaphysical text, they're speaking about this thing connected to the Sirius star being this water type star, and that we as third dimensional incarnations of humans are supposed to learn the science of how to become the boatmen, which is what the netters were in Egypt, or the ferrymen in Greek mythology was the secrets of traversing the spirit realm, where you see these guys on these boats, the netter boats. Hold on. I don't know why they got all of this bull crap up here. Let me just put Egypt. You got these real boats up here. All right, these the netter boats. So traversing the cosmic waters. Go get the book Celestial Ship of the North, talking about these netter boats and how to steer, how to the soul is a ship. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Your soul in a separate existence is called the Aja body, which translates into a hydroacoustic body. Write that note down right there. Hydroacoustic body. On the spiritual level, it's called a Avayas body, or the Aja body has a light body within it called the Jada body, which is your astral copy and your matter density level. So your astral copy, how much of a density your matter is the Jada body. And this is all Sanskrit. The Aja hydroacoustic body is part of the Syrian light body spirit, but the body of the whole anatomy of structures. And literally, it is through this Aja body structure of the planes of the holographic and the black sun that we ourselves are capable of manufacturing our own atoms. Our own atoms can be manufactured. It is this process by which consciousness turns itself into atoms into different materialization planes. The whole imprint of how atoms are formed is how the little sparks that are like quark packages come together to form the atoms, and what type of atoms they will form is governed by the base encryptions that are held in these structures of the Aja body. And they're calling this thing, they call it oscillatory thermogel vapor light bodies, which exist within the middle domain of the light body, from which your sidereal astrological body's consciousness incarnates through the DNA from your matrilineal and patrilineal halves. And just play the video back if it makes sense. I'm going to do a Q&A after this, because I probably won't even get to finish the lecture. I might have to do another part 2 on Patreon. Your cosmic imprint exists through the 3 main signs: the ascendant, the sun, and the moon. The soul and the spirit is personified through the moon, which governs the aquatic nature of the waters that you must experience spiritually and physically, manifested through the events of karma to get back into the Syrian waters. Then there is the crystal aquatone hydroacoustic system technique that our sister Kimberly, she has the science. Shout out to Kim that I showed you guys earlier. She was telling me about this science from a book on the 528 frequency. Essentially, it achieves the highest level of personal, biological, psychological, and spiritual potentialities. Now, I have to make myself clear before we get too deep that I said this before, that when they say you sold your soul in translation to Hollywood, it's literally impossible to sell your soul. You can humiliate yourself and lower your astral body to denser astral planes by fading out the bicameral mind, which is the spirit's intuition from the source that relays psycho-spiritual advice on decision making by refusing its advice. So if you refuse the spirit's advice over time, you can fade out your bicameral mind, and you can lower your astral body into a denser astral plane. That will make you a beast incarnated. That's the 666, which is a quasi-temporal numerical value that has a polarity to it. Of course, we know 666 carbon. It's a good side, bad side. But in this case, the negative impure polarity of 666 means that you have now annihilated the etherical field's magnetic nature by choosing to indulge in lower consciousness of the animal urge, which buries your soul deeper in density. And that's the secret of Atlantis. If I show you some of that stuff, if I can go into it. But convincing yourself that the soul does not exist by ignoring it traps you and gives you the powers. It takes the powers of mitigation and gives it over to the archons that rule the astral plane. So in my last lecture, Evil Decoded, there's one thing that I failed to mention, because a lot of these people are soulless entities. Let me go back into this. Let me show you this video real quick. I don't know if you guys seen it, but I'm going to play it real quick, and we're going to hop right back into it. You guys, have you ever heard of an NPC before? That's the same thing of these people who's buried. They buried themselves, and the karma is that they don't even see the main players of the video game. When you play a video game, when you choose the main role players, they're called sprites in the mythology. The sprites were like, they were fairy gods. Well, basically, they're the only thing that matters in the reality of the video game. That's kind of like who we are as spiritual people. Not to like have a big ego, but if you ain't really doing shit, I'm not saying that a person of a lower astral nature doesn't have a purpose. I'm saying that the purpose of their purpose isn't our purpose. They have a purpose of basically cloaking us from being discovered from the elite dark classes of the dark nature astral souls, so we can get the ascension technology and understand the physics, the hydroacoustic physics of getting back to Sirius, while they do all the dumb shit to the lower astral plane people. But let me play this video for you real quick. Oh, by the way, the NPCs are the people that are in like GTA that you can just beat up and stuff.
Guys, did you know that up to 70% of people on the planet are NPCs, non-player characters? Similar to a video game, you have the source players and then you have the background people. So these people, and if you research near-death experiences, you'll often hear that some people report seeing mechanical souls coming back down to Earth. I would surmise that these are NPC souls. These are people that you'll try and tell them that government's corrupt or they're trying to poison us through the food, water, or air, and they'll immediately dismiss you, call you a conspiracy theorist, call you a tinfoil hat wearer. These are agents for the Matrix. They exist to protect the construct of the Matrix and to make the game harder for the source players.
There you go. There you go. Dude hit it right on the head. He don't even say no more. So that's basically what I was trying to explain, and understanding that. That's what I was trying to explain. So on my last lecture, Evil Decoded. So the NPCs are necessary. The NPCs play a role under what I was talking about in Evil Decoded. The evil, that the nature of evil that the Illuminati and the Jesuits, Knights of Templar, all of these people, Skull and Bones, what they're playing is necessary, because if we do not have anything to struggle with, then we will get complacent and trapped in a standard with no spiritual evolution. So this is what happened in the true story of the gods and goddesses in heaven, in the heaven realm prior to creation. Lucifer, who never existed. The word Lucifer comes from a Ugaritic story of a god named Hallel ben Shahar, and we figure out Hallel ben Shahar ain't nothing but the planet Venus. So I've covered that on here. I mean, not on here, but on Patreon. But let's just say Lucifer was a real character. Lucifer, when these gods and goddesses in the heaven realm didn't have anything to challenge them, to struggle with. Basically, the spiritual realm wasn't evolving. It was becoming stale at a state. And Lucifer acted as, in the story, as a metaphysical quotient that caused a division of the heaven realm into a lower realm. He challenged God or the gods, the same story of Prometheus or Loki, the Canaanite god Attar or Anana. They challenged the gods because the gods became complacent in what they were doing. So to exist in a paradise where nothing happens, you can get the Watchers, the book of Enoch on the Watchers. They said that the paradise will come to a slow state. So it's like a physics equation. These Bible thumpers will take every single thing literal, because Bible thumpers or the Christian cult, they have a histrionic syndrome. And their thoughts on the Christology, for what their pastors and their grandpappy and their mama and auntie figures told them what it was, they're going to believe that for the rest of their lives. And they're going to attack you if you don't say what they believe. But the Christological true process is much more larger than what a story biblically can unveil. And they haven't even cracked the biblical esoteric secrets, but they try to tell you what is evil and good. But anyways, nothing will evolve in a dimension without polarity. What is polarity? Showing it right here in this picture. Polarity exists due to the uneven distribution of electrons within a molecule, which is caused by a difference of electronegativity between the atoms involved in a chemical bond. The water molecule, H2O, oxygen, is more electronegative than hydrogen. So it pulls the shared electrons closer to itself, which creates a partial negative charge on the oxygen atom and partial positive charges on the hydrogen atoms, making water a polar molecule. That's what water is. So this is why the flood myth is important to the modern world across mythology. The polarity aspect of the polar molecule is the story of humanity's fall. Some people in the world have adapted this 666 consciousness and are satisfied in the current states of matter they exist in. Spirits get trapped in the geomagnetic and electrostatic fields of inertia. This stale state is the domain of the demiurge in the Enlil Yaldabaoth, Yahweh God. But if you look back for what we referenced earlier, the Watchers and the Enochian theme of the mythos, you can look at Azazel's sigil here and see something significant. Notice that Azazel's sigil of the fallen angels is the same as the planetary Saturn sigil. Why do they look alike? What is going on here? Go back to the Adam and Eve myth. In the Adam and Eve myth, there is a temptation of the serpent to Eve, which has synchronicity to what Azazel or Azazel represents. Azazel can be seen as a mask of Lucifer or a persona. His sigil is Saturn. Now, in the book of Enoch, it says that Azazel has said he is trapped in Mimas, one of Saturn's moons, called the Death Star moon. We talked about that earlier when we broke down Darth Vader and James Earl Jones' death. Lucifer in Prometheus is chained by Zeus on Caucasus Mountain. He is bound, held back, restrained. What we're speaking about here when we're saying Lucifer and Prometheus, both, or the archetypes of Lucifer and Prometheus, both were bound, both were held back, both are restrained. For instance, Lucifer is bound in hell, so to speak, or Satan is bound in hell, which we know Satan and Lucifer is two archetypes, but let's just go with the Christian story. Prometheus was bound to the Caucasus Mountain. They're restrained, and we're speaking about what the attribute of this sigil means by telling that story. Here we can see that Azazel is a mask of Lucifer and Prometheus, and they're all bound. We can break it down from the beginning. Humanity in the Garden of Eden was when the stars was positioned and attuned to the mother. The mother original name from the Judaic Christian text was Eva, which later becomes Eve, but her name became Hova, then it was Jehovah. Yes, you can look it up. Jehovah was once a mother goddess before the patriarchal orders of the Christendom converted it. When this humanity at the beginning was in a state when the stars were positioned and attuned to the mother, that region of the mother was called the pole star region. We covered this before. When the pole star was where it was at the beginning of time, picture in your mind both hands on a clock on 12. The vibratory and spiritual access that humans had were of preeminence. So we had a vibratory and spiritual access when both hands is on the clock, when everything pointed towards the original pole star Polaris, or the mother region called the pole star region. That whole entire region was called the dragon and the mother. When the apple was consumed, metaphorically, it meant humanity had come to a certain spiritual level, but did not understand how to proceed. See, to be in the light makes you feel good, and it makes you think that you are in the light of the primal creator. But the fact is, you aren't even close to the primal creator. And if you believe that you are, this is what these Christians or these new age thinkers start to say, I'm in light and harmony with the creator. When you believe to do that, you are trapped and bound like the Lucifer story. Why is that, Ani? It's because if you understand physics and if you understand mythology, there has to be a collective fall. The fallen angels is a part of the story of the physics. A collective fall has to happen. This is why we have to go back into the darkness. I'm not saying to become a fallen angel or something. I'm talking about the psycho spiritual side of your trauma and your shadow. Like Jung says, Jung was hitting it on the spot when he was talking about the shadow. When you go into the darkness, it gives us a new method of how to proceed in the light via evolution. That's a significant sentence within itself. But remember the Cain and Abel story. The Christians will tell you Cain is the evil one and Abel is good. The story predates Cain and Abel. In the Enlil and Enki story. So in the beginning, everyone was farmers. The story of Cain and Abel was about two farmers, two brothers, that had to make sacrifices to the god Enlil in the Sumerian ark. Enlil in Ninurta rules over farmers, and Enki rules over shepherds. So the Enki line is shepherds, and the Enlil line is farmers. The story is about shepherds and farmers. Enlil was pissed off at Cain for not sacrificing blood rituals like Abel did with animals for God. Then they say Cain was jealous of Abel. But this should be understood because it's a very humane thing. When we are born into the world, we realize that we are very different from people, especially spiritual people. Some people don't question authority. Some people do exactly what it is said to be done to function in society. Y'all seen these type of motherfuckers. Often these type of people will succeed and excel in working positions, but are often awful people at heart. Others walk their own way, like spiritual people. But you question, why don't I want to follow suit like these other people? And why are these other people succeeding in the system? Should I succeed in the system as well? You may even be jealous at times, hearing how successful these people are that are by the book, like from your high school class or your college classmates or etc., family members, whatever. You ask a question, why couldn't I follow the formula? Something like this has been nagging you, but the story is the Cain and Abel story. Cain went against the god Enlil. Enlil represents the ordering of the system, the government system, all of that stuff, the archonic system. You can connect hand in hand, both of them. So in life, when we get older, what we realize is that it's very good to be different, less more than strange. I have an individuality. I don't want to be like others. When Cain kills Abel, we should understand that the story can be viewed on many levels, but we can look at Abel as the part in humanity that wants to obey and wants to go along with popular trends, which is the system. Abel type-minded people want to bend their knees at the system, adhering to authority. When Cain slays Abel, Cain cuts out the part of him that wants to obey Enlil or etc. This means that people going off that Cain whole aspect, because I know Cain is viewed as a evil aspect of Satanism, but you got to look at it esoteric and get the light side of it. A person who was acting off the mythology of Cain wants to think for themselves. All of us have slayed many Abels within us. So you became a shepherd instead of a sheep or a farmer. The punishment of Cain was not a bad thing. Actually, it was planned according to the Watchers. They didn't want Cain in paradise because nothing was happening in paradise. Man had came to a standstill and someone had to leave. He left into the town of Node, which we figure out is sleep. Is connected to consciousness and meditation, metaphysically. The hand of Node or Nod. This is similar to the fall of humanity or the fall of the fallen angels of Lucifer. Something needed to happen or the Syrian incarnations would have got trapped. Cain's symbol is the skull and the crossbones. So now we understand where they stole that from, the skull and crossbones. When you realize that there is something new within you that has not been tapped into, and it comes from the spirit, you die and you reborn in a higher mind than what you previously were. You walk further into the metaphysical realm with your spirit. You're no longer a farmer. And when Cain is banished from the paradise, he walks the land and he travels the sea. Now, this is the Masonic mystery, because if you look at the Illuminati eye on the dot, y'all put a thumb up if y'all still with me. Okay, it looks like y'all still with me. Okay, y'all still with me. So the Illuminati eye, you will check this out. You'll see the pyramid with the eye on it. Okay. When Cain is banished, he walks the land, he travels the sea. The Masonic mystery is the traveler. This part, first of all, Enki, the difference from Enlil and Enki. Enki, I don't even think I put that in here. Let me see if I did. I probably didn't. Let me get the picture of Enki up in here. Yeah. Yeah. Enki represents the god of the seas. He's the god of the multiverse body of waters, is Enki. Travels the sea, the traveler. Now, you got to understand Tiamat to get the next part, but let's just say this. The elite controls the astral plane through technology and little esoteric matters. But the elite are stuck because they're only conditioned to the astral plane, because we told you there's a difference between the astral plane and soul projection, which is hyperdimensional travel in physics. The story of Atlantis being flooded by Enlil was an esoteric lore to the soul being buried in denser form in humans, into that animal 666 nature. So basically, Enlil closed the stargates, and it's said that he closed the stargates to Sirius to travel the cosmic waters. In the text, it said that he got tired of hearing our souls project from our bodies. He said it was causing too much noise. You could literally read that out of the cuneiform Atrahasis of the Sumerian legend. Now, the eye on the dollar is a tetrahedron. The pyramidion on the top, the capstone that's missing, is a tetrahedron. And the secret of the tetrahedron is the secret of it all, because water in its purest elementary particle state is a tetrahedron like the eye. Why is that? So if the water on a quantum level is a tetrahedron, and it's tetrahedral like pyramids. So ask yourself, why does the dollar have a pyramid on it? Because money is nothing but maritime Morris science law, or admiralty law, which is the cosmic waters. The traveling man or the Mason is supposed to travel to his Ma sun, MASUN. The Ma sun is the mother's son. The mother's son is Sirius. The traveling man in Masonry, he can travel the cosmic waters. We're talking hyperdimensionally. It means a person who can travel outside of the dome. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, the knowledge been out here. It just, Negroes want to know why Cardi B is cheating on Offset. The knowledge been out here. Hold on, y'all can't hear me? Why y'all putting y'all thumbs up? Who putting their thumbs up? Why y'all putting all these thumbs up right now? I don't know what's going on. Somebody explain it. Y'all laughing at me. They said this is a classic video going in. Appreciate that, Tyline. Oh, I told y'all to put your thumbs up. My bad. My bad. That probably was late because I came back and saw it later on, so I thought it was something else. Appreciate you, Tony. So, I think the physical body was an experimental tech series to work. It was an experimental tech of the gods. It was supposed to work the same as an Athanar. I want to keep that Pope picture up. An Athanar or Athanar, it was used to cook metals in the time of alchemy. This is what your body is metaphysically. It cooks. and they even showed a picture of it. It cooks your experiences spiritually, so your soul can become gold. It's an oven. That's what it is. But the body was an experimental tech that was supposed to mimic a Athanar, the same that Athanar does for metals and alchemy, but in a neological continuity of the soul. What happened was that the tech was remodeled, probably. Maybe the software, the way our skin, our cells, our neurons, all of these things that connect to the central nervous system, to the brain. Maybe the software was remodeled and hacked, and maybe there was some type of virus or something. The program was changed, because the program was originally supposed to evolve the soul, but over billions and billions of years, now the software has limited the soul's evolution. So our melanin is called the calling code in the software. Take that note. The melanin is the calling code. It is a protoplasmic pre-substance hydrolase. It's a form of a cosmic water, a pre-substance of hydroacoustic compound elements. It is the organic living pre-water, which speaks to hydra endoplasmic atomic hydrolase. Hydrolase is an organic atomic living water, which is the hydroacoustic compound element. Water, matter, and base is 144 organic living elements composed together. So the people of the Christos, the Christ, have a Christic soul agreement to become a Aquafarian shield of the primary race lines that's going to turn the bodies back into the Atlantean source code programs to go back to Sirius. Exclamation point. You know what I mean? So what happened to Tiamat? From what we understand, Tiamat is the original dragon, interestingly, in the year of the dragon. Tiamat was a planet. Okay, so Tiamat was the old mother. Some say Tiamat and Krypton were either planets or asteroids that existed between Mars and Jupiter. Some fourth dimensional weapon, I don't know how this is beyond a human thought, caused the explosion of both planets and they became the asteroid belt. There's also speculation that these war gods were having war to seize her planet. And we always have the mythology of the connection to superheroes and to this esoteric stuff. Like you look at Superman in his chest. He has an S on his chest, which can be representative of the S. It means serpent of Sirius. Serpent of the Syrian connection, because Tiamat was like a phone. Tiamat was like a signal planet to Sirius. Now, Krypton was an actual telepathic language through the pre-Egyptians. I read that in one of those Egyptian books. The telepathic language we used before speaking with the tongue, when we used to speak with the mind, was called Krypton. And the S on Superman's chest means serpent of Sirius. So some speculate the S could mean the worm of Yaldabaoth. But Sirius was a stargate to our solar system in ancient times, specifically to Tiamat and our sun. It was the natural stargate for us to travel through the spark of the soul. The cosmic waters was a medium of travel throughout the multiverse. Our souls were and are ships outside of the dome. So when we leave the dome, it changes into a ship in the water. In the Sumerian mythology and Babylonian mythology, you had this war between Marduk and Tiamat. These Anunnaki, quote unquote, guys. I don't even like that name. I don't even think them motherfuckers exist really, but let's just say the Anunnaki guys represents the Olympian gods and the great old ones. Marduk came in contact with Tiamat through his orbit. Marduk's planet came into our solar system. Marduk's planet was heading towards Tiamat, and they said in the text that there was a collision that took place for the first time in our solar system between both planets, and the asteroid belt was created off the collision of both planets. Marduk was the son of Enki, the god of the cosmic waters. He was a storm god like Yahweh and Zeus, so he went against his father. They are the same archetype, Yahweh and Zeus. So when his planet exploded with Tiamat's, he took over Jupiter as his planet in the end. He seized his geomagnetic atmosphere. He took Jupiter. Then the asteroid belt was called the Ring of Lucifer. I didn't put nothing on the end of asteroid. So the asteroid belt was later called the Ring of Lucifer. Now, they tried to uphold the Sirius Stargate by taking one of the asteroids from the asteroid belt and move it to where our moon is. It is our moon. So going back full circle to the whole two moon shit, I don't told you, I don't gave you the secret today. The secret is that our moon was fashioned to be it was an asteroid from the collision of Tiamat and Marduk, and was put in the atmosphere. Now, I mean, you got a lot of stories of this. That Islam said that the moon came from the planet and they put it in the sky. I mean, whatever your ass want to say, shit. But the ancient text said it was a asteroid. That might make more sense to me, but who knows? Who knows? So that's on you to decide that. So this moon still has the resonance of Tiamat that gives a connection to Sirius. The moon is the gate and stargate to Sirius. Go get the movie Moonfall. Go get the movie Moonfall. In the movie, Halle Berry had to put the melanated woman in there. And she goes on the moon and they find this AI intelligence made up of these little small black nanoparticles. That's melanin too. And they discovered that the moon had a cosmic artificial intelligence that gave it the ability to open stargates, even to create stars. If activated after the destruction of a planet, it created stars. So the spirits of Sirius is called the oneness, and they are the ones who taught man and mankind how to create civilizations through esoteric methods. Now, I want you to get a book called The 528 Code. It's called The 528 Prosperity Key that Kim told me about from Dr. Leonard Horowitz. This is an excellent book. I like the book. It helps with a lot of information. Speaking about the cosmic waters. This dude wrote a lot of books. He's He's a doctor, I think in Hawaii. He writes a lot of books on how these elite are destroying the world with their, particles in the sky and chemtrails and all types of stuff. But in the book, he's talking about something called the Davidian key. The Davidian key is talking about a key that was a tool or instrument to open the doorway. And he says that he's talking in Twilight language throughout the book, but there's techniques that he's going to talk about to break you through to the other side. And I'm going to give some examples of it this week on Patreon. I'm going to bring Kim soon on Patreon to show it how it applies, because she has some techniques to show you how to apply, but that's got to be reserved for a smaller group. We can't put all of that information out on here. It's amazing stuff, though. Very amazing stuff, what she was talking about. But you need to expand how you look at the angles of light on this thing, because I had a dream right after the conference that different people's superpowers, they actually come from a modality of interest they take on when they are spiritually in tune with a certain subject that has to be mastered. So you may be into crystals. She may be into water. Another person might be into martial arts. Another person might be into cyclomancy or telekinesis, whatever it is. You have to find that, and you have to be confident in it and make the execution of what you're going to do to add to the creatrix of spiritual power. They already got their egregore set up and they're running it like a machine. But what they know is it only takes one of us to put the gum in the cogs of their machine, which will make them have to pivot. I mean, these people are 100 years ahead in their arsenal's artillery to fire at us. So we got to understand it. We got some serious work to do. Now, in the book, Dr. Horowitz says he's going to mention something called the perfect circle of sound. In the fourth solfeggio frequency, 639 hertz, he's saying the research led to some type of positive light rift that breaks up negative impurities and tonalities. And he's comparing it to King Solomon's temple. When King Solomon is talking about building the sacred geometric science of a temple represented through the six-pointed star of his father, King David. First of all, the temple is the waters above the firmament, the cosmic waters. That's the mystery, waveforms. You get it? Wave forms from the cosmic waters on a quantum level. But we also find that the hexagram, the six-pointed star, is nothing but a sacred geometrical form of molecular water. Going back to the water, hexagram. When the 528 tonality begins structuring, the pyramid shape it takes on is the same water molecule that couples with the mate into two to neutralize. It couples with the mate into two to neutralize polarities. And this combination of two water molecules form a hexagram, a six-sided atomic complex that is referenced in the typical snowflake. It's called a structured or clustered water in science. And there's a doctor named Masaru Emoto, Japan's famous water researcher. Both him and Dr. Lee Lorenzen figured out that this water that I just described acts very differently and far more positively and powerfully than the polluted chemicalized water. I had already gave you the research. If you're on Patreon at the Afro-Indigenous Wellness and Culture Fest, I talked about the heavenly chords and how you can play the harp to induce this type of frequency. But I was talking about a different type of frequency called the G scale of the heart, but there's plenty of stargates. You have to understand that. And I was talking about how the Egyptians played this harp. The harp is also your body spiritually. The strings of the harp is your chakras or your koshas, your different astral forms when they pluck it. Why do you think they named their weapon harp? What they're studying, they know that there are electrogenetics in sound resonances that can charge and implode the spirit and collapse a wave function. Our DNA is the virtual antenna to God, and there's substantial science that gives evidence to genetic reception and transmission of sound and light vibrations, broadcasting musically, mathematically, harmoniously from the Sirius star itself. And this explains why the 528 hertz frequency literally lies at the heart of the rainbow. I even had that picture that when you're going through stuff in life, there's a lot of people going through some stuff, and I know this information helps them. Hopefully it don't hurt you, but it should help you in some sense to tune in with something that you may agree with or you didn't agree with, but now you're starting to come around and see the difference. But you're in between the storm and the rainbow, and that's a perfect summation of what spirituality is right here. This picture is perfect, right in the middle road. But this 528 frequency is literally at the heart of the rainbow. I'm not playing about that. The heart of the music and math of the electrogenesis and cosmogenesis is the electromagnetic color spectrum of the botanical world. So they found these water, fire, earth, and air tablets all over Egypt. There's these tablets over Egypt, Sumeria, Japan, and the Americas. They're called the sealed scrolls in the Bible. Even your anime Naruto. Go back and get the Naruto anime, because they're talking about the seals, the ninja scrolls and the seals of the ninjas, and they got the whole element thing working with Naruto. And somebody said Boruto got the black goo in it too. But the anime Naruto has something called the scroll of sealing, connecting to what I'm saying. Webster's dictionary defines the word scroll as a string or character recording oriented logogrammatic language. This pertains to the mathematics of language and the alphanumerics of language, in which letters and numbers express the energy of spirit and dimensionality. Now that's heavy. So the 528 frequency is said in light harmonics to give off a green yellowish color that mimics the quantum chromodynamics of the heart chakra. That's the color of chlorophyll, which is melanin in plants. It's called chlorophyll. They measure the health of the water. So scientists measure the health of the water by looking at the phytoplankton of algae in rivers, lakes, and oceans. These are the nanomachines of bodies of water. In the mythology, they're called the undine water elementals. Go get my video. Go back and get my video, Soul Elementals. I'll talk about the undines. So they're studying these undines, these water elementals, because it is said if you marry the water tutelary spirit, if you marry it to your soul, why you think they build every significant city next to a body of water? If you marry the water tutelary spirit, it will grant you immortality. So drinking chlorophyll water filled with it's not nanomachines, but phytoplankton acts the same as they try to mimic nanomachines to be. And the word undine translates to wave in Greek. So it's still wave mechanics, family. But it said if you drink enough chlorophyll, your skin's telomeres will slow down significantly. That sounds like the heaven form of what they reverse adrenochrome to work as. All right, so, oh man, we went in today. I need to preserve my energy to get to work in a minute. So y'all see I do this. Make sure y'all give a donation after this video. Make sure to send at least $5, $3, whatever you can. And I'm still doing consultations. Let me invite some people up. They want to ask some questions. I'll give you guys like 5 to 10 minutes if you want to ask some questions on the lecture today. Said KT, the Arch degree has Phi Omega. Yeah, I heard that. I used to buy stuff from KT, the Arch. I used to buy stuff from him. Yeah, he does have excellent stuff. Let me give you guys a chance to come up here. See what y'all talking about. Elect Zion says, always listening to my music in 528 atonement, non-negotiable. That's right. I'm just getting put on to the 528. I've been working with the G scale of the heart, but I'm going to start to incorporate it. You best believe that. Yeah, the melanin is the calling code, Nikki. You said I got to see the Twilight of the Gods. Send me that. I don't know where that is. Send me that. Twilight of the Gods. $417 as well. You said you get your new suit Nectar from KT. Oh, it's on Netflix? Okay, I might check that out. All right, we had the brother coming in here. Peace to the God.
Peace to the God. What's going on, honey?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing wonderful. I can't complain at all. Quick question.
Yeah.
As far as this asteroid / moon deal is concerned, how will it affect, or will it have any effect on the Schumann resonance spike?
Definitely will. It has to, because it entered into both electromagnetic fields of luminary bodies. The Earth and the moon is a luminary body. And I told you those asteroids, there's asteroids still circling this universe that was from Tiamat. So we don't even know where this thing is from. Maybe these Illuminati people, they've been calculating. I don't know. But it had to come from somewhere, from almost another rim. If it came from deep space, it could have came from anywhere. So it definitely has to have some type of effect from the moon translating down on the Schumann resonance. So that means it is having an effect with something inside of us.
Okay, appreciate that. Peace.
Ain't no problem, God. Peace to you, man.
All right.
Hope that helps y'all. Let's see, we got anybody else up in here? No, we don't got nobody else. So I guess that's all. I guess y'all understood everything. We don't got no questions. It's good for me. So make sure you guys check in with me. Gematria Decodes. Email me startribe777@gmail.com. And make sure you oh, hold on. Somebody asking questions. Hold on. If we are in a firmament, why is Elon trying to go to Mars? That's all some bullshit, Ania. He ain't trying to go to no goddamn Mars. Them motherfuckers ain't never been to the moon before. They ain't going to no goddamn Mars. They can tell you anything. If they've been on the moon, why the hell they don't got no camera up there? They can just put a camera on the moon and charge people $100 a month just to watch the moon. I pay for it. I would pay for it. You telling me they don't got the technology to put a camera on the goddamn moon? And they tell if you can't put a camera on the goddamn moon, how the hell you gonna go to Mars if you can't put a camera on the moon? You got ask You got to answer that question. Go ahead, brother. What's going on, Thailand?
How you doing?
Doing pretty good, guy.
All right. I just want to give my my respect to you, my props to you. I came across you. It's probably been about 3 months now, and
right.
you've been answering a lot of stuff for me. I just had a few questions for you. I'm not gonna hold you too long. Ever
Yes,
since
sir.
2022, I've been seeing. Well, first I'm gonna just say this. I see the color green and purple every day, every night, at any time of the day in my visible spectrum. I can see it emerging in the sky. I can see it emerging on the wall, and that's been ever since 2020. But 2022, it magnified, and now it's magnifying more. I also see in the sky what seems to look like a field that's diminishing, or it looks like something that I can see beyond what we would call, you know what I'm saying, the sky, the normal sky that we used to seeing. It's like
Wow.
glitching or something like that. And it's been like, and you know, I got a few people that I watch, and I don't see nobody else saying the things that I say. So when I came across you and I heard you say something about, I think it was on the dude Tommy show. I can't remember his name. I think his name is Tommy. I don't know. It's the whole YouTube channel name. If you know what I'm talking
Truthful?
about.
Yeah, I know what that is.
I think you had said something about the veil lessening.
Can you hear? Hold on, you going in and out.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I believe I heard you.
Now. That could be me. I don't know.
Yeah, I can hear you good. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I think you were talking about Tommy. You were talking about Tommy Truthful?
Yeah, I remember seeing you on his channel, and you had mentioned that the veil is becoming more thinner, and you said it was going to be a certain group of people that will only have, because I think someone had asked you about, you know, do you think that people will have gifts or powers? And you was like, nah, but it's only going to be a certain people that come from a certain spiritual lineage.
Right,
So,
right. I remember that.
I was just trying to see if you had any, you know.
Right. So that's probably what it
answers.
is, you know. Oh, okay, you still. Yeah, we having a glitch in between when we speak. So it's something with the signal, but I did say that there was a spiritual lineage that people have. And depending on your spiritual lineage is gonna unravel those specific gifts that these people have. I don't think it's codependent on just race or something like that. I think it's codependent on DNA. You know, your DNA is gonna tell the codons, the coding of your DNA, and not even a little bit, but beyond DNA. Within the DNA was just a antenna. It's just a transmitter antenna. There's certain things with the spirit and the soul that comes through karma to go through certain things too. But yeah, that's all. That all connects to the spiritual lineage anyway. So you're absolutely correct. So these things that you're seeing is probably connected to the reason why you can see it.
Okay. Well, I do plan on booking. I heard you say you do consultations, so I'm gonna book one and have further dialogue with you because I don't see anybody else. You know, and I know people probably don't want to talk about it as
Okay,
much.
brother. Yeah, we can't hear you, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, you back now. Yeah, you going in and out bad.
I'm gonna end up booking the consultation with you, but I'm not gonna hold you too long.
Oh, okay, brother. Yeah, definitely do. I want to look into your chart. Definitely email me. Send me your name. Send me your birth chart. What time you were born, city and state, and I definitely will get that decode. Light decode, $60. Name decode just $30. So I don't even make it expensive.
Okay. I appreciate your time, man.
Ain't no problem, God. No, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
All right, peace, God. All right, yeah. The brother was dropping with that. And yeah, if you guys want me to do gematria decodes, I've been doing so many of these things, family, and people have been amazed. I be putting in work for that. It takes me hours to get somebody chart done. So don't think that I ain't putting in no work for that. I'm trying to build that up, and I'm trying to understand that science so I can crack the code with other people's gematria outside of the whole Illuminati type thing. I seen somebody ask a question about that. Let me try to find. You said, would I mind decoding Gravity Falls? I don't know if that's a movie. Said, check out the movie Blink Twine. What's up, B Sword? Shout out to that brother. That's who it was. Lakeisha says, gematria voice have any connection to the second moon coming in? I could do the gematria on it. I haven't done it yet, Lakeisha. Or you can send me something that you're looking into, and we can work on it together. Casper says, what about people living on space stations in space? You ain't never seen no motherfuckers on those space stations. They just show you some shit on a camera and say they in space. They could be very well Masons. Obama's whole family was connected to that whole astronaut shit. What if a person doesn't know their time of birth? As long as we can get it as close as possible, Donna Stove, if you can just figure out, as close as possible, we can give you a good idea of what it is. But that birth time is important. And if you can call the hospital or something, call the hospital or try to get the records of something. Give a clue when your mom checked out the hospital or something. Give us some shit. That's very helpful, because 30 days can make a big difference in somebody's chart. It can make a big difference. I think 2 weeks can make a big difference. But yeah, family, make sure. I can't answer any more questions. You guys want to ask more questions? We can set up a consultation. We can do the gematria decode, or you guys come over to patreon.com/THE_spiritual shade room. That's the place to be. Only $5 right now. $5 tiers. The upper tiers is the 20 and above. And I appreciate hold on, somebody just checked me. Infinite Intelligence said you didn't answer my question. Hold on, let me answer Infinite Intelligence question. Do you still have the herbs? Yeah, we did reconnect with the sacred herbs on the festival. So we do have that connection once again. So just email me about that too. We did get a new connection with that. There is no, okay, Gravity Falls worth watching. Okay, I'll watch Gravity Falls. I'll watch it, guys. I'll check it out. I guess I'll decode that since y'all like that. My email is startribe777@gmail.com. Make sure you guys check that tab and send a brother a donation for going in like this tonight. Going in late as hell at my job. But it's all good. Love you, family. Peace and chaos. Arin Poya, Ao Shulu. Ashe to the ancestors. We'll be back with it next time.